Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. In the first segment, we talk about our trip to Atlanta. We came back. Christian's got grills and a pimp cup. I've got a cane with all ice all over it. It's all amazing. One of us went to Magic City. We don't talk about that, but we can call us and we can talk about that if you want. We also talk about Jack Harrison getting called up to England. We talk about Nashville fiasco. We talk about a lot of things in the first segment.
In the second segment, we got a guest. We got Tropic Sounders, Ceej all the way from Southern Florida. In-house. And it's, we worried for our safety, but I want to let everybody know that we are okay. And we cover everything about, soccer in South Florida and the state of the Seattle Sounders.
In the third segment, we talk about some of the MLS games that have an impact in the playoffs. We talk about who might be going to the playoffs, who might not be going to the playoffs, whose points might be taken away and not going to the playoffs, who that might bring into the playoffs. And you know what else we do? We have our first ever, What Is You Doing award of the week.
Ooh, what is you doing?
What is you doing?
I know what we're doing right now.
That's right. We're going to stop talking about the intro and we're going to get to the podcast. But we got that and more on this episode of the Cooligans.
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby.
Hello, welcome to the Cooligans.
Oh man, yeah. Oh wait, am I supposed to talk now?
Yeah, you were too busy celebrating.
Oh man, I was pumping my fist in the air. We are back and we are alive after a weekend in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I feel like at least people expected one of us to be alive.
Yeah, you. I think you. People sent me food recommendations. I was like, do them all. Let's see what happens if you eat everything in the city that fries butter.
Yeah, we are back from our trip to Atlanta for the Red Clay Comedy Festival, where we did a live show.
We did a live podcast in front of a packed audience.
It was we will get into that because it was
standing room only.
It was lovely and it made us feel very, very good and happy about what we are doing with our lives.
Yeah,
which is the first time.
Really, as comics, it's just perpetual failure. And you're 100% right, man. We walked away. I mean, you were getting huggy with your girl. I was getting huggy with my girl. I mean, it was just like one of those things where like everything felt right. You know what I mean? Just like I had all this adrenaline going through me. I was like in the best mood I'd been in a long, long time. And I think it's also like, the come down from all the stress that goes into an event like that. But just when you want something to go well and then it goes amazing, you're just like, wow.
Yeah, it was, I was taken aback. I was.
What else were you?
I was startled.
What else were you?
I was puzzled with all the support.
Puzzled.
I was like, what is this? Validation? No. This is so unfamiliar.
I was outrightly confused. I mean, it's, you and I talked we were exhausted after, but you and I were talking a little bit after, and I don't even think you and I said sentences. We were just like, it was, when you put the, and then, like, you and I had full-blown conversations like that. I mean, sometimes, and just, exactly.
Whatever. It's just like, oh, can you believe?
I don't know. I thought about it, and then I was like, and the other thing was, we did that for about 25 minutes while eating. You were eating octopus, and I was eating French fries.
But it did go well. So we'll get into that. But welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome to the Cooligans.
My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros. And if you're listening and you're not from Atlanta, hey, we're done hammering home the Atlanta thing.
Yes, if this is your first time listening, we just did a live show for the Atlanta United fans at a comedy festival, and it was very, very fun. It went very, very well. This was our first live event outside of New York City.
Yes,
and
all around our most successful live event,
without a doubt. Where I think the thing that surprised me the most, where our first interview so far, the live shows that we've done were with
Jack Harrison and Jimmy Conrad.
Jack Harrison, Jimmy Conrad, and RJ Allen.
Right.
So the Jack Harrison one, well attended.
Very well attended.
But this was early on in the Cooligans. A lot of people had no idea who we were.
No, in fact, remember we did the 100th episode. A lot of people said they found out who we were from that event.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was the thing where there were people there, but I think the people there were like, "Oh, I'm going to go see Jack Harrison."
Right.
Not necessarily.
Who are these two people talking before Jack Harrison gets up?
Get these guys out of the way. I'm trying to see more Jack Harrison.
Do they even work here? You know,
are you upper 90 employees?
Yeah. If we bring our own microphones, do we get to talk before Jack Harrison gets up? So, that was the general tone.
So we had to kind of like earn it. You know, we had to earn their trust.
Sure.
As opposed to
and we did, and now we know their bank codes.
And then when we did, like, for example, the RJ Allen event, that was like more of a private event for like a soccer academy. So it was all like children in the audience.
It was all kids.
So they definitely didn't know who we were.
They did not. And then we told them we were the Cooligans, and one kid was like, "Hey, you only have 200 subscribers on YouTube at the time." I was like, "Are you looking that up as we're here?"
That's all that matters. The kids know about the social media.
They
numbers.
Are too in touch with internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They cannot verify our validity that quickly.
They were just like, "Well, what's your engagement rate like? You're not really getting the numbers that we need."
It's like, talk to me about your demographics. What are we looking at here?
Look, the 7 to 9 category. You're really doing poorly in this.
You're not doing much in this.
Like, why, man? You already know a lot about marketing.
What are your sponsors? Are they animal crackers? Because then I'm listening.
Okay. Gummy bears? Okay, I can work with that.
Fat free gummy bears? Get up out of here.
But this show in Atlanta was definitely not filled with children.
Not at all. And thank God for that, because we went over a lot.
It would have been a very different show.
Yeah, very much so.
But
a lot of cold sweating.
This was the first time that at the show I had asked the audience. I'm like, "Hey, how many people here have listened to the podcast before?"
Yeah.
And easily about like 80% of the people raised their hands politely like children.
Yeah. Put your hands together if you've listened to the Cooligans. And they're like, you just hear the hand go up.
So that was that felt very good, because the thing I enjoyed about it the most was that it felt like a thing that was unique to those fans in that room. It's one of those. It's a lot of times like at improv shows, right? The beginning of the show, they'll say, "Hey, let's get a suggestion from the audience, and
please don't fall asleep during the show."
Yeah, they always say that. But no, they say like this show will be a thing that will happen right now. You'll be the only people to see it. It'll live here and die here and stuff like that. And that's sort of what it felt like, a big like inside joke.
It also felt like a secret meeting, you know what I mean? Like, it was like only for us.
And the venue, it kind of made it seem more like that. You know, it was a back room, like the door you had to push in the door to slide it over. Like,
right. It was like a center hinged wide door. So like it was like a big revolving door that you can't see through.
It would be if there was a bookshelf that you had to push into and like a book that you had to pull to turn the door around. They'd be like, okay, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, that would have been dope. I bet you that was like their design at first. It's just cool. And then, we're performing in front of a shuffleboard machine, and above us
a machine, a shuffleboard machine.
Isn't a shuffleboard machine?
It's not a machine. It's a table.
It doesn't have those things that you knock up. It doesn't have the pins that go up when you slide the thing under it.
Pins that go out.
You ever see that? You throw it and it goes underneath the pins, and if it goes under the pins go up.
What do you mean, like bowling?
It looks like bowling, but you don't hit the pins. You go under the pins, and the pins go up into the machine.
That's not a shuffleboard machine. I don't know what it is. That's not a shuffle. I don't even know. That's a different game.
All I know is they asked us not to put anything down on it, and immediately you put your bottle of water in the machine.
I didn't hear this. I didn't hear this rule.
Oh, no. They asked us, whatever you do, just don't put anything.
My bottle of water was sliding over the shuffleboard.
Yeah, you were all over the place. Pins were going up and down. There was no pins. And also, boxes of pizza went on the shuffleboard machine.
Yeah.
So sorry, Argosy. But yeah, we were performing with a Kraken above us, a huge wooden Kraken.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just wild. It was crazy. And it was one of those things where, like, you and I talked about it, and it was like, we joke around all the time when we say that what we do is for the culture, and we mean it. This felt like it was for the culture.
Yeah.
This felt like this was an event for soccer fans, by soccer fans, and in the tone of soccer fans. That was it.
FSBS.
Yeah, for us bias. For soccer by soccer is what you meant. Yeah,
that's what that is. What
it's supposed to FUBU.
Okay,
well, Fizbiz.
Fizbiz.
Little Fizbiz. LL Cool J is like, I'll wear it.
But another, we just have to say a huge thank you to all the fans who showed up. That it was great, and our guest. I mean, Brittany Arnold was amazing.
There was so much personality,
so funny, so great. I loved the whole experience. We're gonna put out this podcast later this week, so if you're listening for the first time, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you won't miss out on that. It is legitimately super, super funny. And what I loved about it more than anything was how funny the players and Brittany were.
Bobby Boswell. I mean, hilarious.
So that was the surprise guest that a lot of people didn't know who it was.
Were we not supposed to say it?
We didn't. No. I'm saying that was a surprise guest that the people who were there didn't know who.
They did not know.
They didn't know.
And the reason why it was a surprise, we had no idea if he was going to show up or not. We felt bad marketing it that way, but there was just no way of us knowing
that. And that is just to give you an inside look under the hood of like what's going on at Cooligans headquarters. We don't know either.
We have no clue. We don't know what we're doing, but sometimes we also don't know what's happening.
We may know like from maybe 5 minutes beforehand. We know what we're doing.
Yeah,
but we definitely don't know what's happening.
We never know what's happening. Sometimes we listen back or watch back and we're like, "What even happened?" We don't even know what happened. But that's how we like to roll, and hopefully the fans are with us on that.
It really was that exciting because Bobby Boswell. We were trying to reach out. We reached out to him a while ago, but
through a mutual friend, and he agreed to do it,
but we didn't know.
But there was no confirmation.
We didn't know if he was going to be there, so we hadn't heard back. And it was one of those things where a lot of times, especially the team just played a game the night before,
right?
So you don't know who's gonna. Do they have the day off? Are they going to be available? Like it's uncertain. Even the players are uncertain of what their schedules are going to be week to week.
And I think he even had said that if the players that didn't dress typically have full practice the next day.
Yeah.
So he would not have been able to make it. So he was waiting on that. So we wouldn't have found out anyway until day of.
Yeah.
Or at the very least the day before, which is when we started to hear word that, I think I can make it. And they were feelers out for other players. We were trying to get Michael Parkhurst. We were trying to get some other players, Anton Walks, Kenwin Jones. A lot of people, feelers were out there. And it was just, look, they have a game every 2 days.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's very difficult for them to get back to us. They're top priority. Tata's not like, before we go over the X's and O's, did anyone respond to the Cooligans?
Did anybody maybe just CC me on that email when you respond, just so I can keep up? I really want to get an answer for them.
No mate until we decide which one of us are going to go to the Cooligans. And then all the players
are like, oh, no mate.
Come on.
Not fair.
No mate, Tata.
But thank you, Bobby Boswell. Thank you, Julian Gressel.
Julian Gressel was incredible again.
After a monster of a game, a goal and an assist the night prior, which was how serendipitous.
Yes. The word I definitely was going to use. Serendipitous.
How perfect. The dude is like, hey, you know what? I got a live show tomorrow. Guys, Joseph, give me the rock. Because I really want to make it, I
don't want to look like a bum in front of the fans, man. So, Martinez, set me up.
Do the right thing, homie.
Don't sit your ass down. I got this.
But how incredible was that? And
I've never felt bigger and yet less important in my life than right after the show, as a group of fans just bum rushed right past me to go talk to Julian Gressel. I mean, never in my life have I felt bigger and yet so small.
Just Heisman Trophy'd you out of the way.
I got mushed by an older woman, just right in the face.
I was like, wow, where'd you get such force?
I know. She's like, you work out your forearms, lady?
But how, what I loved about this was that it not only was like our first event in Atlanta, but it was our first event with like a sort of a panel with multiple people on the panel. And I think it made it for a little bit. It felt more like a comedy podcast than a soccer interview show, because legitimately, how funny was Bobby Boswell?
I mean,
Bobby Boswell,
he showed up,
crushed it.
If he plays though, if he shows up to a match the way he showed up to our podcast, I mean, he's going to be the best defender in the league.
He's earned time based on that podcast.
Oh my God! When he retires, buddy, grab a microphone, will you please? So funny, great stories, and you know, we kind of did it almost like a late night talk show. Where I think my original intention was for you and I to sit on one side and then all the players to sit on the other side. But we did this thing where like the players sat in between us. I think it was just naturally happen that way. Again, we never know what's happening. But I think it was because there was an issue with the microphone. So by the time we figured it all out, we were sort of on opposite ends of whoever we were interviewing. And we had, Brittany, I wanted to say Murphy again, Brittany Arnold and Bobby Boswell still sitting to your right. So they were still on stage with one microphone in front of them that they could sort of use. So we had wanted, them to be able to not interrupt, but sort of have a say if something gets asked. And then we knew we were going to do a bit of a Q&A. So we thought maybe leave them all up there. And Bobby did not let go of that mic, man. Whatever Julian said, this guy had to quit it. Would he come back and we're like, dude, get off the mic, bro. You're stealing our shine here. I don't show up to your job and start clearing balls, okay? And get off of my damn podcast while you're so damn funny.
He was really great. Again, we hadn't gotten that confirmation. We didn't meet Bobby Boswell. We hadn't spoken to him.
We had no clue what he was going to be like.
We had no idea what it was.
We literally had maybe we started a little late, so maybe 15, 20 minutes beforehand, max, where we kind of could get any idea of a personality. And Julian brought his girl, who was famous from our podcast fans for being the one who, quote unquote, doesn't like pizza. And almost immediately, she's like, by the way, I never said I didn't like pizza. She's like, I just said I hadn't eaten it yet. And my thing was like, how's that possible? I've never heard of such a thing. What do you mean you haven't eaten pizza? I've been here for 20 minutes in the city and I've eaten pizza.
You know what? And that was also like a fun thing because at least like, our podcast is getting to the point where like players' girlfriends they have to feel like, look, I have to make a statement.
Well, so far we've pissed off one player's wife and one player's girlfriend. I mean, geez,
we're angering the wags of MLS.
We're coming for your significant others, bro.
So overall. So just so happy. It was so fun. Thank you again. I mean, there's too many people to thank, but I mean, one of the many crowds that we have to thank.
Yes.
Is Jay Riddle.
Jay Riddle is our Atlanta fixer.
Jay Riddle. He's now the co-host of the Mouth of the South podcast,
and he does an amazing job on that.
But he helped us out so much to help the event. Just like.
Yeah, he was our liaison. He was our Atlanta liaison. Without him, I don't think... I mean, just first of all, he brought scarves for every player that sat down, got a scarf thrown on him. We did not ask him to do that.
Yeah.
You'll see in the video, he brought some food for us to eat. We did not ask him to do that. He told everyone in Atlanta we did not ask him to do that. He also mitigated a lot of, we were trying to sort of, figure out, we're sort of stuck in, downstream without a paddle when we're in another city and, they have their own culture and their own podcasts and everything. And he sort of set everything up. He takes part in our video that we did with, Atlanta United Fan TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just for us. It wasn't just an opportunity to talk to the fans and whatnot. And we wouldn't have had that opportunity either if it wasn't for Jay. Just everything he did. We can't thank Jay Riddle enough.
Props, applause. Jay Riddle. Thank you so much. And the fans.
You're not just GIFs, or bad Photoshop.
Just more than GIFs. That should be his his book. His
business card.
It's more than Jay Riddle. More than GIFs.
More than GIFs. Listen to the sounds of Jay Riddle reading poetry. More than GIFs.
And props to the people who did show up. And I know a lot of people were sad that they couldn't make it.
Yeah, some people said they had to work.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
It was a Thursday.
It was at 6:30, so understandable.
Yeah, we tried to make it early enough so you can go right after work and not stay out too late.
Yeah, and you got to tell your boss like, "Yo, I'm trying to get out of here. The Cooligans are in town."
Come on, player. There's traffic. Who works after lunch, really?
What's up with that Atlanta traffic, though?
That's insane.
Yeah, a little very unexpected.
What do you got? 2 streets in the whole town? Why is it only the streets I'm on?
Yeah, there's just like there's not enough. They need to, break down some schools and put some roads in there or something.
Get rid of this school for special needs children. We need more highways.
But
some politician is listening right now, going, "That might not be a bad idea."
But thank you for the people who were there, because some people said some amazing things.
Yeah, I felt like they were lying to us. I felt like both of our ladies paid off people to be complimentary to us, because it was just plaudits, right? That's the word I want to use. The plaudits that were thrown at us were absolutely insane.
I don't know who this person was, but so my girlfriend was there. She was at the merch table.
She was helping us out in the merch table. Yeah, my girl was taking pictures.
And somebody came up to her, and we had those posters that we were. It was like a pay what you want.
Pay what you want. Yeah, we just wanted to make our money back for printing them.
Yeah, so people would give like $5 or $10, and we're incredibly grateful for it. Somebody gave $5, and then they got the poster, and then they came back, and then they said, give me the $5 back, and I'll give you 10, because these guys, I've had a terrible year, and these guys, like, they've literally made my year, and they made me laugh.
Yeah, whoever that is.
I don't know who. I don't know who it was.
You don't have to tell us either. Just, we want to thank you.
Just thank you. I mean, that means the world to us, and again, it's just like we're just trying to do. We're just comedians trying to do a soccer podcast and be a little silly. But the fact that we could have that effect, then anybody would see it as some kind of
benefit,
some therapeutic in some way, and it can make you feel better. That wasn't even our intention when we started doing this, but that legitimately means the world to us. And it kind of, when I heard that, was like, it kind of made me emotional. I'm like, all right. I mean, we're not just idiots talking about farting all day.
We're idiots talking about farting, making a difference.
Making a difference.
That's what we are. It's like people who just do this. I mean, when we started, we had no idea how or if this would ever make us any money, and obviously it still hasn't. But if this would be successful, I tell the story all the time. Christian and I painted a wall in his apartment green, and then we're like, does anybody even care about comedy and soccer after we've already changed your apartment?
What now?
So this does it itself, right? The wall's green, we're good now, right? We get money from YouTube. Is that how that works? We had no idea. So if this has a positive effect on anyone's life whatsoever, or just lightens your day for a few minutes or sometimes 4 hours, thank you for telling us that, because that means the world to us. Because that's our goal, is to make this shitty world a little bit brighter, which something that I don't think we even mentioned, but we should probably bring up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say thoughts and prayers, because I don't think either of those things do anything. If you do, good for you. They don't for me. I don't know what else to say besides, every time I hear about it, I'm becoming more and more desensitized to the gun violence and to these mass shootings, and that makes me deeply, deeply sad. I grew up in a city that had major issues with youth dying from gun violence, and it was one person or a few people. It was never 515 people injured, 58 people dead. That shocks the world out of me. And if it doesn't shock you anymore, go get help. And I don't mean that as disrespectful. If that doesn't shock you, if that doesn't hurt you, please call somebody. Make sure that you don't become someone who can do that major amount of damage as well. Look, I'm cold. I'm cold to a lot of things. This is not one of them. I don't know how anyone else can be. And if you have a phone, Google your congressperson. Call them, leave them a voicemail. Writing doesn't matter anymore. Calling, they have to respond. They have to respond to your phone call. So it would mean something. I don't care if you just want to tell them that you think it's fucked up. You don't have to. If you're not for gun law changes, that's fine. I think I am. I think Christian is. Yeah. I know I am. I should say. I think Christian is. If you're not for that, just tell them.
Let me just put my gun away. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Jeez, I told you not to bring the AK. Why? Look, I want to hear about Dracos and music, not see them in my apartment. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, for me, it's seeing all the news about Vegas and seeing those absolutely tragic videos. It's just like, how bad do things have to be before anyone, even if you're like pro gun, like before you're like at least question and be like, maybe this is causing a problem. Maybe I don't need to have this in my life, or maybe I don't need to be such a staunch supporter of a very rigid amendment. You know?
I mean, you know, the point's been made. The dude had 42 assault rifles.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not making this point. This isn't a joke I'm making. 42 of anything should surprise people. I don't even think they let you get 42 nuggets at McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, they would. They immediately call the police once you're over 40. It's like, oh, this guy's going to be a problem.
Come on now. 42, the guy's like, look.
This guy's a threat to society.
There's actually a 3-day waiting period to get the nuggets. We got to do a psychological evaluation.
I mean, yeah, it's just, look, we have to look out for the community.
I mean, I can't just have you out there driving with all this barbecue sauce everywhere.
You want extra barbecue sauce?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you know, let's back up the truck.
Are you going to just drive? What, you think I want dry nuggets?
Your throat alone, that's going to hurt. Yeah, look, of course we had to make this into a joke somehow. Whatever, you're listening to a comedy podcast.
But that's what we do. And like, it's...
And you asked the question, when is it? If it's not 500 plus people injured and 58 people dead. If that's not the number that gets you to rethink how you feel,
there won't be one.
There just won't be one. Look, I love food more. I love food more than anything. But if my doctor was like, "Yeah, you weigh 500 something pounds and 58, I don't know, of your arteries are clogged. I don't know how many arteries we have, right?" I'd be like, "Holy shit, I need to make a change." You know what I mean? Everybody at some point, there's a number that you're given, or there's a data fact that you're told that should surprise you. If this is not it, I beg you to look inside yourself and wonder, what will it take? And if there is a number, tell us, because I mean, it's probably going to happen in 4 weeks. Okay, the way this stuff is happening. So whatever. Let's get back to soccer.
Before we go forward, we should talk. We should mention the Red Clay Comedy Festival was amazing and super fun. We did stand up, throughout the weekend outside of the show, and you had. Some Atlanta United fans who saw you do stand up, and they were a little interesting.
Yeah, that was one guy just held up a scarf, footy mob scarf, throughout my entire performance, which some of the other comics in the back of the room are like, "Is this guy a problem?" And I had to kind of give them the "it's okay" symbol while I'm on stage talking about one of my jokes.
Like, it's like, this is normal in soccer.
No, this is fine. And to be honest, so it was at a bar called Midway, which footy mob uses as their away game bar.
Yeah,
that's the bar they go. And it just so happened that the show started right after an away game. So I walk in to get food.
The 0-0 against New England.
Yeah, the 0-0. Yeah. And they were all, when I walk in, they're all their attention is on their phones. They're all watching the NYCFC game. I walk in to go to the bathroom and to get something to drink. The show was taking place in the parking lot. There was a massive like party tent, where like a wedding tent essentially, where the show was happening. So I go in to go use the bathroom, and immediately I'm mobbed by some of the ladies that were there and some of the guys. And one of the dudes was like, "Yo, my wife couldn't come, but she's here now. She's pregnant. Could you take a picture with her?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." You know, she wanted to come to the show, but she was due the day before the show, and she still hadn't been given birth. So she decided not to go to not disrupt the show in case she started to give birth, which would have been amazing for the Cooligans to give birth to your child.
We would have put everything down. We would have microphones down.
I would not have put the microphone down. I would have.
You would have live. Yeah. You still would have continued the podcast.
Yes, I would have continued the podcast. That would have been the greatest second segment of all time.
Yeah, I would have live tweeted the pregnancy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Instagram stories. They're like, "Oh my God, look how disgusting this is down here."
Selfies. Yo,
it's crowning.
Put a Cooligan sticker right as the baby comes out.
Yeah. Is it a boy? It's a girl. It's a Cooligan. I couldn't have been happier to see some of these fans. Some of the other comics are like, "You want photos with Alexis? Like, why?" You know? And it's funny. Chris Scopo, another very funny comic, was there, and he was like, "I've heard people talk about your podcast." He's like, "I've had friends ask me about your podcast, that they listen." He's like, all of that has happened, but I didn't realize that people cared so much about it until now. So thank you to those guys. And then a bunch of them showed up to the show. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be outside in about an hour." And one dude showed up, Santa United. If you're listening, dude, you were a little drunk, buddy, but you sat next to us. You were really cool. He invited me to something called Porkapalooza.
Oh,
yeah. Me and you are invited.
Okay.
So Porkapalooza, it's in November. And can you guess where it takes place?
Probably in Atlanta.
It is in Atlanta, but where in Atlanta? Where do you think they would host this big event called Porkapalooza?
Porkapalooza sounds like a festival that would be at some like park or something.
No, it's his backyard. Oh. Yeah, we got invited to his backyard to eat pork. And I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to fly down. He's like, "I'll fly you down." I'm like, "You're drunk, but I'm holding you to that." A really cool guy, and he got to meet Will and Julia. Will and Julia are like, "This is a fan of yours?" I was like, "Yeah, he's been drinking a little bit." They had a game.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll fly down. If you fly us down, Santa United, we will come back down, and we will 100% go to Porkapalooza. I will be the Palooza, and Christian will smell the pork.
Sure. I'm like, oh, these are lovely scented porks.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to eat that much. I will eat it all.
I did enjoy the food in general in Atlanta was pretty good.
The food was great.
There was a lot of fried chicken.
Oh, boy.
Little buttermilk fried chicken.
Everywhere. That biscuits as far as the eye could see. Pizza.
No.
Got to try the Antico.
Okay.
Pretty good. A little salty, but it gets saltier as it gets cold. Although generally it seems like it might be a little salty. What else? I got to try the pizza that they gave us the free tickets to. What is it? Yeah, the RC Pizza, I believe.
Oh, I forgot.
It's right by Bar 529. It's right around the corner from Bar 529. I haven't had an experience that bad with pizza in a very long time.
You were very, very upset.
It was so bad, I had to go get food at Midway. That's why I went and got food at Midway.
Sure. Yeah, that's the reason.
No, 100%. I know. Generally, I don't eat back to back. I mean, I'm not a monster.
What is it?
Wait at least an hour.
Bang Bang, Bang Bang.
That's right. Bobby Kelly's Bang Bang, which he did on the Louis Show, and a lot of fans don't realize that was not written in. That's how Bobby Kelly lives his life.
Yeah, if you don't know, so Robert Kelly is a comedian. He you may have seen him on Tourgasm with Dane Cook years ago.
Yeah,
that was his one of the biggest shows that he was on.
Or the You Know What Dude podcast, which we both have done.
Yeah, and he was on Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll.
Yeah, that's right. SDR.
But Bobby Kelly is known for a Bang Bang, which is two, like you go to one restaurant and then another restaurant back to back and have full meals. Right?
Have entrees each time. And sometimes appetizers. He calls it a Bang Bang. His cardiologist calls it yes.
More work for me. Yes. Can we bill the Bang Bang as you do it?
Yeah.
Because
the doctor's just on his phone live, going, "Show me what else you're eating." Oh, you didn't get that with extra gravy?
I had grits. The grits was really good.
Oh, where'd you have grits?
At the Folk Art Cafe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did have grits.
Yeah, that was really good.
I had a biscuit with fried chicken on top and sausage gravy on top of that, and a fried egg somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I know is I cut into the fried egg.
We live our lives very differently.
How was your cute little grits?
But overall, yes, Atlanta. Thank you so much, and we'll be back. We'll be back
100%. But we're not staying at this hotel we stayed in, and the four of us are not staying in one room ever again.
Correct. But it was great. But let's talk about some other stuff outside of Atlanta, because let's talk about Jack Harrison. We did mention him earlier. He was the first ever guest that we interviewed, the first player, and boy oh boy, great news for him. Jack Harrison called up to the England under 21s.
What an amazing. I mean, this is big for him. It's bigger for MLS.
Okay, I thought you were going to say bigger for us.
I mean, this is big for us. By the way, I mentioned this on Twitter, but if you want to get into your national team, come do an interview with us and let us name a burger after you, okay?
I mean, look, the everything aligns correctly, right? You know, we even interviewed him. We were talking about like his interest in playing for the national team, or even possibly playing for the U.S. national team if he wasn't called up by England. But everything is lining up. It all started with that burger.
And if you look at the timeline, the first thing is probably not Manchester United's youth academy or coming to America. No. It starts with the burger.
The burger.
And then at some point, Debbie Harrison tells her story about sending the kid here. But after that, all it is great playing from the burger all the way to the English national team. Well, the Young Lions.
The burger raised the bar. Raise the level. Now he has to live his level of play has to live up to having a burger named after you. You know, he's like, well, I got a burger named after me. I can't
just sit here and do nothing.
I got to bring the heat now, week after week.
I got to make it into the Three Lions if I'm going to honor this burger.
And who's the I don't know who's the manager for.
I thought it was.
I don't know the under 21s.
I know Southgate is the head of the whole national team.
The senior team, but he was probably like, Southgate was like, all right. I see what you're doing over there.
How you playing? I'm pretty good. You got any food named after you? I got a burger. Get in here.
Get in here. All right. We got now. Okay. Now we're talking.
He's like, what am I supposed to do? Say no to the guy? He's got a burger. I don't have a burger. Lampard ain't got no burger.
I don't want to look like an idiot. You know?
I mean,
so
Dele Ali could easily have a burger named after him. He doesn't.
He doesn't. I mean, it fits so perfectly.
I mean, Dele.
No one's even thought about it.
I mean, sitting right there.
But how exciting is this? I know for Jack, I mean, there were a couple of videos of him talking about how excited he was, and he is he's a modest man, and he won't like be like, yo, I'm out here going for England, so what you know about
he's
that?
not Cardi B. He's not gonna come out like, that's right, of course.
Yeah, you limeys out there, now you know, real recognized real.
If you see me and then when we don't speak, that means I can run past you. Okay.
So, but how
you limeys? He's offending his own people.
But how cool. I was. We're joking around about how much influence we actually had on this, but more than anything, just because we know Jack and we know we know Debbie very well.
Yeah.
His mom was just seeing her, when she posted on Facebook. Like just the image of Jack and called up to England under 21s. It was one of those like legitimately like mom posting a graduation photo of her kid. Like
very much so.
How proud of he didn't finish college. He didn't graduate from college, and a lot of times that's usually the case with a lot of footballers where they don't they give up schooling so they can focus on
their professional career.
And Jack very much did that, and he probably got a higher quality education getting to come getting to the US, and but he when the time came he went pro, and but this is him graduating, and how proud I'm just excited for her because she presented Jack with that opportunity of like and that risk.
Well, I mean, it was the risk is what I was going to bring up. I mean, this was not the direct line that's ever been taken, to the men's national team in England. You don't often see even English youth players leave the country. It's very rare. I mean, there are instances, but it's not one of those things that happens very often. The idea of him leaving and coming to America was a major, major risk for him if his interest was to play in the English national side. Now, look, it is the U21s, and he does have to show up. Fagundes got called into the Uruguay U23s, if I'm not mistaken, or the U20, U21, and I don't think he's ever been called back.
Is there a U23 for international tournaments? I don't think so.
Yeah, of course there is. The U23, you're usually allowed to have two of the senior players.
Oh, okay. So, but the 23 is as high as it goes.
Yeah, 23, and then you're a senior. Yeah, they don't have the U30s.
The U34s.
So I think I can make it in the U40. Actually, no. All these extra MLS players are just waiting for that call up. They should have the O40s, the over 40s. That'd be fun to watch.
I mean,
nothing but hammies getting pulled.
They have tournaments with older players. I've seen that before.
No, but they should have a World Cup.
A World Cup.
An over 40 World Cup.
Okay.
Think about it. You get 11 substitutions.
It's like the Claremont Lounge of of international tournaments.
Yeah, it's the Senior World Cup. He has to show up. So there's a lot there. But speaking from the basis of MLS, being an American soccer fan, you have someone who is plying their trade in our league, and another nation, a big footballing nation, is looking at that and saying, yeah, I think that's good enough to play here. It happened with David Villa, and now it's happening with Jack Harrison. You're welcome, MLS. NYCFC seems to be leading the way here. But, we've seen it a lot in South America. We've seen it a lot in other countries that aren't as, as great at soccer as some of the other ones. You can't deny England and Spain. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that this is a very good sign for MLS, just to kind of show its quality, but also more. Jack Harrison can be this example for other English players. You know how Frank Lampard, when he got here, and he would talk about, instead of grinding through the under 19s of your academy, and fighting through that, come to Major League Soccer where you'll get actual playing time on a first team.
Yeah. And they rate you. They look at you highly.
Yeah.
If you're technical or if you're a scorer, you get chances here.
Yeah. And Jack Jack is that first example for English players. Could be like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll head over to MLS because maybe that won't close the door on playing for my country.
Yeah.
yes, and part of me thinks like Jack definitely like he earned that call up without a doubt. He's played so well the last 2 years, but how much of an influence do you think being able to play with Pirlo and Villa and Lampard is that,
and having Vieira there?
Yeah, is that what it's going to take to for other English players to be surrounded around that much quality to be able to get called up by England? Or do you think if Jack Harrison played for Columbus Crew, is he getting called up in England?
No, and I don't think it's because I think part of it also is Lampard started the sort of the marketing campaign for this back when he was still here. You could hear in a lot of interviews where Lampard said, yeah, he should be getting opportunities in the youth, national side. So I feel like that was, Lampard went in as a confidant and a friend, and I think he, probably planted some seeds out there for him.
Planted some seeds, or was he like, legitimately like
you think he's
campaigning?
Taking a cut of this?
It's like, look, Jack, I'm working for you. Yeah, like you're gonna have to give me, you're gonna give me some scratch.
Did you get called up? Yeah. All right. So I expect an envelope at the end of the week with 15% of what you make. Okay. But I think to your point is that it's easily understandable what level he's at because of the people he's playing alongside are someone that are players that people in England know. So the quality is quantifiable. The question becomes is, does a player look good because he's playing against lower level quality as compared to like a Premier League, or does he look good because he is good, right?
Yeah.
That becomes a question. Well, if you have David Villa and you have Andrea Pirlo and you have Frank Lampard and you know their level, right? You know their skill level. And then you see Jack Harrison playing well. You're like, well, that is easily equatable. When you see Ben Sweat playing well and then Jack Harrison playing well, someone in England's like, I don't know who Ben Sweat is.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he looks good because maybe some of the other players around Ben and Jack aren't as good, or if these two players are actually very good. I think we're seeing with players like Ben Sweat, and every team has a Ben Sweat in it, someone who, wasn't getting chances and all of a sudden looks great and is making a position their own. And then you have someone like Jack Harrison who's come in here and has looked incredible and has shown that quality throughout. Every team has at least one of those two.
Yeah. And, but I am like generally, optimistic for the league and sort of
very much so.
What this can mean, because it really is bigger than just one guy getting called up to an under 21 side. It really means a lot more because there's a difference between Kai Kamara being on like Sierra Leone
yeah.
and a player getting called up to England because how fierce the competition is. And the England won the under 20 World Cup, right?
Yeah,
just recently. And when I look at the talent, Everton has a lot of the guys, the academy players from Everton are playing for the England under 20, under 19.
Should be playing for the senior team in Everton.
There's a lot of them, but there's a like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's the striker for Everton, and he's
Davies,
guys like that. And when you see those players, if I compare Jack to those players, I'm like, well, Jack, he should be there. There's no
right. He can hang.
He can hold his own with those guys. So, but there's a different when you look at the first team, and it's Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Dele Alli. Then at that point, you're like, all right, well, it's going to be tough for a lot of people to get playing time.
It's hard for anyone to break into that team. Never mind someone who's playing in America.
Yeah, and then at Jack's position, there's a lot of competition there.
Absolutely.
So the hope is. He's going to be playing against I think the Scotland and Andorra.
Scotland is a big one.
Yeah, so it's not going to.
They're going to win, but it's a big one.
Yeah, and the hope is one, I'm sure he's going to get some playing time, and I hope definitely for like the Andorra game. I feel like that's a reasonable thing to get him in the game. So. I'm hoping, because David Villa just was called up for World Cup qualifier, and he played just a couple minutes and then was obviously injured in training, so we didn't get to really see. He didn't get to display his skill at his age and stuff like that. And but I'm hoping Jack just lights it up, and in England, that people get to because even when they posted the England, they put it on Instagram. There were some people that were like American fans that were like, "Oh, cool, finally deserved." And there's some people in England that are like, yo, who's this dude?
Yeah, why would you pick a kid out of America?
Yeah, so it's there's a lot on the line, more than just I mean, not to put too much pressure on Jack, but there's more than online.
I'm sure he's putting enough pressure on himself. You're right, but also just imagine what it feels like for him to put on that, the 3-line shirt, you know, that strip as they call it. I mean, it's got to be a very emotional moment for him, all the way back to when he was 14 and decided to leave, the UK for America, and even before that. Or more important than that, when he took a bite out of that burger we named after him.
Yeah.
Oh, what a wonderful day that must have been in his life.
It was big, yeah.
In fact, this, when he puts on the men's national team shirt, like that might usurp the burger. I mean, it probably won't. You're right.
No, not even close.
Come on. He's like, this thing doesn't have chili on it.
He's gonna. How
come there's no chili on the shirt?
He's gonna put the 3-line shirt on and then grab some chili and wipe it on his shirt. Be like, this means more.
He's just gonna hold one. He's gonna hold 2 fingers up, not the way that they swear that they give you the middle finger, but he's gonna put 2 up. He's gonna make a C out of his hand, and we're gonna be like, we're both gonna feel a chill in our back, and we're like, oh.
So yeah, we're very, very excited for him.
So we'll be watching.
We will be watching.
We probably won't be watching, but we'll be pulling for you.
There's also the game. The U.S. Speaking of international play, the U.S. will be playing against Panama this Friday.
Squeaky butt time. Oh
boy! Everybody's little bead of sweat coming down.
Bead of sweat. I'm changing my shirt 3 times a day, which is one more than usual. Why is this making us so scared? We should be beating Panama, but they got to get us back for that Sansuzi game.
Sansuzi?
Yeah, remember Zusi scored a goal like when there was no need to score a goal in the end, and that got Mexico into the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes,
and he's Sansuzi. That knocked Panama out.
Yeah. Okay.
So, there's a little revenge might be coming up.
Yeah, that's possible. The U.S. plays against Panama. I think the game's like at 7:00 on Friday. Just the lineup was announced. The only we expected a lot of the players that were called up. A couple surprises. Benny Feilhaber called up.
Looking forward to it.
Now that Jurgen's not there, he finally has an opportunity to get into the national team and get some
creative
more caps.
Midfielder. I mean, welcome to the team. We could use you.
Juan Agudelo also called up.
Agudelo as a midfielder.
Yeah,
which is surprising.
And but Benny Feilhaber not called up, and then some people were saying that that there was some. There might be some rift between him and Bruce Arena.
Air manager.
Questions of his commitment to the national team. I don't know. I feel like Benny Feilhaber is one of these guys who is never really the face of the team. You don't really hear him talk that much.
Right.
In a weird way, I feel like I don't know what we're losing out on.
Wait, did he get called up or not?
He didn't. He didn't get called up.
You just said he did.
No. I'm saying he did not called up. Benny. No, wait. Oh no, not Benny Feilhaber. Fabian Johnson.
Oh, I'm like, what are you talking about?
The F's got me confused.
Yeah.
Fabian Johnson was not called up. He was
not called up.
Yeah. So he was the one I'm talking about.
And he's one of those guys that can play all the way from left back all the way to left winger. So it's very frustrating to not have someone like him in. I'm twice as shocked as anyone else that Agudelo is going to go in there and he's as a midfielder. I think he's going to be able to play well. I think Feilhaber is going to play well. Did Dax get called up?
Dax
got called up as well. And DeAndre Yedlin back in, baby.
Yeah, that's huge, and I think that gives me a lot of confidence.
Oh my God, you have no idea how relaxed I am to know that DeAndre Yedlin's going to be there.
He's been looking good at Newcastle.
He's been looking great.
Games.
You see that highlight of him tracking all the way back? He slid all the way across the field. He ran. He was maybe.
Why did he slide from midfield and just continue going?
And he had both his hands up. He was doing the Usain Bolt stance. No, he ran. He was tracking back, but he's on the left. Or he's on the right. In this viewpoint, he's on the left. Mm-hmm. He's on the right, so he's at the top of the screen. The guy with the ball is on the bottom, so on the left, I guess. Whatever, right, left. So he's running. He leaves his man. Not only does he go 15 yards behind the player running, not only does he catch up, but he gets in front and he leaves his guy. And he's so fast, he slides and saves what automatically would have been a goal. Absolutely incredible. Super fast. A guy like that who can get forward, can be creative with the ball. Really, he's much better at crossing the ball now, man. I've been watching a couple of those Newcastle games. He's so good at it.
Who's the manager at Newcastle?
Rafa Benitez.
Yeah. Clearly he's getting some good direction.
Yeah, for sure.
He looks a lot better. A much more confident player. I think the last match I saw him playing, I think somebody like who's he? I think they were playing Brighton Hove Albion or something.
Yeah.
And he somebody like pushed him. He was just like, he pushed him right back.
Nah,
like,
son.
I don't care where you from, dog.
America, dog. Have some respect for the eagle, my dude. The guy with that type of pace and creativity, more than welcome to be a part of the team.
And a guy like that who's not DeMarcus Beasley.
Oh my God!
I mean, we just don't want to. I mean, Beasley. Yeah, if we have a wingback who's like gassed and
buddy Beasley, get prepared for the O40s. Okay, get prepared for the over 40 Senior World Cup. What are you doing, dog?
So so that's good. So what? It's that's the first game, and then Trinidad and Tobago. So. Hopefully, by the time you hear us, on the next episode, the U.S. is in the World Cup and we don't have to worry about.
We're going to Russia.
We're going to Russia, everybody. So,
no one's ever said that positively, but we're going to Russia.
A couple other things we should discuss: Toronto FC winning
the Supporters Shield. Is that their first trophy that's not the Canadian Championship? I believe it is.
This is, yeah. This is their first support.
So congratulations to them. You could see how happy they were. But it brought up the question immediately, and this happens whenever I see someone be happy. I'm like, yeah, but what's going to happen now?
You just won't let them
you mad soft. Mad soft, you're all excited.
Yo, why can't I see your teeth all of a sudden?
Dog.
This is a sign of weakness.
Yo, my dude, you celebrating right now? What does this mean for them in the playoffs? Are they going to let up? This massive celebration of theirs, did that take away? Will that make them feel slightly accomplished and take away from their run in the playoffs? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it
could happen.
It's generally pretty tough to win the Supporters Shield and the MLS Cup. We've all seen that. Taking some of the teams that maybe didn't feel like they had any real chance at the Supporters Shield early in the season. You stop. Right. You'll sit some players. You're like, all right, a playoff spot is enough. But when you win the Supporters Shield, it's to put your foot on the pedal that hard towards the end of the season. And still, and push that into the playoffs is
it's very difficult.
It's very difficult. My only concern with Toronto is the decision. I forgot the coach's name. But the decision to
Greg Vanney.
Yeah. So
or is it Vanney?
Vanney. The decision to
Vanney's disgusting.
Rest Altidore, to rest Giovinco. To the point,
and they certainly need to be resting Vasquez because he's a little older.
Well, it's sort of the concern. It happens in basketball all the time. Right?
Happens in the NFL too,
where it's like, those last few games, you want to like rest the guys, and you have to weigh those decisions of like, do you want to be in good form or do you want to be rested?
Right, and you kill momentum.
And I feel like there could be some disappointment for that. I mean, look, they won the Supporters Shield with essentially 2 matches left.
Yeah.
So
it's not that long a time to be able to,
Yeah, and we do know Giovinco and Altidore I think they will be playing these last 2 games.
Right.
But they didn't play like the 3 prior.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a possibility. They can be. I wouldn't be shocked if there was an upset. That's just my feeling.
No, but I also agree.
They have to be the favorite.
They are the favorite, and I agree that there could be a shock. And part of me that believes that is the one that does not want to go to Toronto on December 9th. It is too cold.
Please, an upset. Please.
Toronto lose to a warm weather team.
Either lose or find some way to create some weather machine to
Have you thought of playing in Hartford, Connecticut? That I'll go to.
Yeah, or have you just thought of playing in a dome at the Stade Olympique?
Buddy, we performed in a tent this weekend. Why can't they
put a little tent over BMO Field?
Put a little big ass tent.
A little big ass tent.
Come on, it's not that hard to find one. I just Google that and see what comes up. Please don't.
I'm sure there's something on Amazon.
No, Amazon. Chinese factory owner right now is like, we could do it. I tell you, we could do it. Do you want it to say Gucci on it? We'll do it. I mean, I just don't want to go there. But I mean, Toronto does look like the clear favorite. They do look like they're the most well established. I mean, they didn't give up much of a lead this whole season. Kalen Carr said it, and I agree with him. This is very anti-MLS the way they did it. You know, there didn't seem to be any parity. They were in the lead from the get. They were ahead of everybody else, and they never really let off the pedal. But to your point, and to the point that I made earlier, is this the moment where they finally have slowed their momentum moving forward? And will this affect them moving forward? We won't know until we see it. Other teams are getting very hot at this moment. In particular, Atlanta United has played a lot of games, so the exact opposite of what you've done. NYCFC seems to have a little bit of struggle, but they're finding ways to win, which is also how you want to go into the MLS Cup playoffs. You got Orlando, which may back in if the MLS laws are held up, which we've never seen happen before. So we never know. You've got the Rebels. The Rebels could always sneak up on people in the playoffs. They are a team that's almost built for the playoffs, and I know they've had struggles, but they play a very good game, and they're really good on the counterattack. Who knows? I'm not sure what else is happening. Again, Chicago Fire, stacked as they are, can they make some noise? So they're not, Toronto isn't safe by any stretch of the imagination. The one thing they're going to have is that their biggest rival is not making it anywhere near them because Montreal is not getting in the playoffs.
Correct. Yeah, they're kind of sputtering out, and it looks like you mentioned Orlando kind of backing in, but there was Orlando did have a 0-0 draw against FC Dallas, but FC Dallas there's some speculation that the game might be forfeited by FC Dallas because they made a lineup change after they handed the lineup card to the referees.
Right. Paul Tenorio picked up on this. Great reporting by him. Fan of the podcast, friend of the podcast, been on the podcast, and we'd love to have him back on. He's the one who caught this, and it was the card was handed into the officials with the lineup. A change was made after that. It was announced.
Michael Barrios, I believe, came in. I forgot who he was subbed on. Who they switched him with, but Michael Barrios was the one who came.
The lineup change was announced on Twitter, and then the player that was ineligible was called into the game, was subbed on. So the rules are that they forfeit the points from that, and Orlando would take all 3 points.
Yeah, so that would put them 1 point behind the Red Bulls for the last playoff spot.
So they would move up to 7th place with 42 points. They both the Rebels do still have a game in hand, and they would be a point ahead at 43. So in the next match, you would assume if they win or draw, it still puts it out of reach for Orlando. But if that were to happen, and we don't know yet, the rule may come in later after we record this, so before tomorrow, when you guys are hearing this, tomorrow being Wednesday, today, right now in your ear. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen, but this playoff implications are on the line. Yeah, so I wonder what MLS does.
It is. It would be a very big decision if that happened, but it is apparently those are the rules.
I say make them play again.
You break the
Let's do it. Come on, baby.
Orlando and Dallas.
In Hartford, Connecticut. And neutral ground.
Every game.
The home of soccer.
The final thing before we get to our second segment, where we'll be talking to Tropic Sounders.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Dropping by.
He happens to be in town.
In New York. So Chris Jarrett.
Yeah.
Ceej, as he likes to go by. But we should talk about this. This was kind of interesting because, the last few months, especially early in the year, a lot of teams made bids to be the next MLS teams. I think the MLS is looking for 4 more teams.
4 more teams.
So but there was an announcement from a journalist who contributes to MLS, and he I forgot what else he writes for, but he his name is Jeff Reuter, and he
or Reuter. It's like Reuters.
No, it's not spelled like Reuters.
Sure,
it's Rueter.
Oh, no one needs to know the exact placement of the letters. I mean, come on,
Reuters is
the same, similar letters.
So I'm assuming it's Reuter.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, he writes for MLS, The Guardian, ESPN FC, Howler.
Yeah, so
442.
I believe he's based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. But he announced that Nashville was officially the team that was selected for the next.
He started with the word confirmed.
Yes.
He's like, done deal. Go to the bank with this one. I mean, it was just
everybody get ready. The the hashtag Nashville to MLS. You can get it tattooed on your body.
Come on, right on your forehead.
On my daughter's life.
Yo, B.
On my daughter's life, B.
Yo, put that on my mama. Put that on your mama. Put on everybody's mama. It's a done deal. It happened last week. Y'all are just late to it.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you old news right now.
Oh, Nashville made it into the MLS Cup playoffs. That's how dead ass this is.
You ain't paying attention like I am.
You ain't looking deep enough, G.
But he put this out, and the tweet was immediately picked up
by everybody,
retweeted
by us included,
retweeted 1,000 times in like 3 hours. So when you make a bold statement like this, everybody's like, "Yo, for real?
Yeah,
for real." And it's like, and then he's like, "Yes." He's just like, "Yes, I've my sources have confirmed it." And then we're like, "All right, well, this is going out everywhere."
Well, then more retweets, and then he was like, hold up. So as of today, well, actually this was yesterday. As of yesterday, he put in update, while my sources are confident, and in quotes, Nashville are in a spot, MLS not making final decision until December, nothing official today. So he's like, yo, it's unofficially official. I mean, this shit happening. It might not happen, but yo, this shit happening.
But like for real though, it's like it's like basically facts. I mean, it's not facts. It's basically facts.
Yo, anything can happen tomorrow, but as of right now, this shit happening tomorrow. You're like, I'm confused. Yo, we all are. Confirmed. You're confused. I like that, and I didn't realize you could get that much promotion out of something like this. So I would like to say confirmed. The Cooligans would like to confirm that Nashville's making it to the MLS. We're also doing the same thing. We're gonna go get Prince's Hot Chicken.
Yes, we can confirm that DeMarcus Beasley will win the Golden Boot.
Yes. Confirmed. We're ready to confirm something else. DeMarcus Beasley will also win the golden assist, the golden ball at the over 40 World Cup.
DeMarcus Beasley has beaten out Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo for the what is it? The
Ballon d'Or?
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, the Ballon d'Or. Isn't that crazy? Confirmed by the Cooligans.
Confirmed by the Cooligans.
Yeah, and no one's happier than his home club in the MLS of Nashville FC. They are so happy.
But a lot of people, after this was shared a lot of people were a bit upset at Jeff for posting this without any real source.
Without confirming it?
Because after this happened,
he clearly has a source. His source is just one of those.
It's a deep state. Yeah. There's a leak. There's a leak at Major League Soccer.
I'm looking for one of our lights to fall on us now that we're talking about this.
Are you wearing wire? I'm like, I gotta check.
Right. I forgot. You forgot to pat me down before we started. Hello, Lord Savior Putin. He knows. Shouts to Gazprom.
Abort.
Yo, why doesn't Gazprom sponsor the podcast, man? How dope would that be?
Maybe because I have no idea what they do.
It's Putin's oil company.
Is it?
It's state-run oil, man. Russian oil. Come get some. Go to Gazprom. Check out Gazprom.com. .com.ru.
But
.co.ru.
Some
right?
people,
something like that.
Some people were bothered by this, and he was getting a lot of,
primarily people in the other cities. Yeah.
Negative tweets. Yeah, because some people want their team to get selected as the next expansion side.
Right.
So pretty. How do you feel about? I mean, this sort of questions the integrity of journalists, because when a journalist is found to get something wrong, or just not or report on something without enough evidence or truth or facts, then people are like, well, now this dude's either a liar, doesn't know what he's talking about.
People get all up in their ass now.
Yeah, so it's weird. I think in soccer, since we've been doing this, I feel like this is like the first time something like this has happened, where it's just been straight up. Because after he tweeted this, Alexi Lalas, there were other people in MLS. We retweeted what's his name, Wes. I forgot his name exactly. But
World Wide Wes.
What was it? I have his name right here. Where is it? Wes?
I mean, now we're just looking stuff up on the podcast as opposed to talking.
Wes Bowling, who he says. Also, I just wanted to get his name right because he tweeted that he's on the MLS committee. He's like, I'm on the MLS committee. I would be the first one to know this.
Right.
This is not confirmed. This is not official.
It would be like somebody tweeting, confirmed, Christian Polanco had a chicken wrap for lunch. And you're like, I'm eating breakfast right now. I'm here. What are you talking about?
And you know what? I also don't want those lies being spread on the internet.
Right.
All right.
Let it be known that Christian does not eat real food.
Don't you dare defame my character. And you will be hearing from my lawyer, sir.
Yeah, right. Who is also famished.
Okay. You will be hearing from my very thin, hungry lawyer.
Lanky, very hungry lawyer.
Okay. Emaciated.
Yes.
Right.
He poops water. He has a story to tell you.
And you can see his ribs, sir.
Yes, and he has, speaking, you can see his bones, and he has one to pick with you.
So it was interesting because a lot of people were just like, yeah, you know, this dude's a fool, and now people are being negative. But you know, how much room do you allow for journalists to get stuff wrong? I wasn't particularly upset. You know, again, like if we tweeted something out and people were upset at us for like not getting something right, I'd be like, all right, yeah, well, what do you? We're comedian.
So par for the course.
Yeah, so
of course we can get something right.
So as usual, yeah.
So you're mad at us for doing our job well, then? Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
So it's like it was weird how upset people were getting at him, and it seems like in the soccer world, you know, the soccer Illuminati or whatever are not very happy when a journalist gets something wrong.
No, and you know, people were jumping all over this guy's throat afterwards. It's like, well, just think of the fun Nashville had for a few minutes. You know, knowing they were going to have,
brought them some joy. Yeah. It was almost like they found out Santa was real.
Right? Come on, not Santa United, who's still drunk, still trying to get his plane tickets.
No, yeah, Santa United. Yeah, he shouldn't be driving the sleigh.
No. Thank God for Blitzer, huh? And Donner and the other ones. I don't know the other ones. So, you know, hopefully Nashville gets it. Hopefully other cities. I feel like we can be bigger than 28. So, I mean, I wish every city that put their bid in.
I feel like 28 might be too much.
You think 28 is too much?
It feels like too much.
No.
I don't know. But I mean, who knows what...
50. Let's go 50, 60, 70.
No, at that point, it should... if it gets past... I would say if it gets past 28...
Don't say it.
Then we gotta start talking with the...
Building 7, man.
Hey, man. We need a pyramid, man.
We need a pyramid. Who built the pyramid, man? Why would they paint the beams, man? Promotion and relegation doesn't happen on its own.
Exactly. So
and we both want it. We're just making fun of all of you for wanting it so bad.
All right. So the fun first segment. Let's get to our second segment. Our conversation with Ceej, and this is exciting because he's one of the guys who is just a big supporter of what we're doing, and
he's the Florida, he's the Miami Jay Riddle.
But basically, I mean, it is kind of. A bit surreal to think of a Seattle Sounders Supporters Group in Southern Florida.
Yeah.
But on top of and this is more than just talking about soccer with a head of a supporters group. It's really about like how involved the supporters group can be in the actual community, because as we know, hurricanes have just absolutely devastated the Caribbean, and in Florida, Hurricane Irma just passed through Florida, and Ceej himself has been a big part of that rebuilding.
Very much so. He's been very active, and he's posting photos of himself wearing a Seattle Sounders hard hat, and he's carrying wood, two things I don't own or know how to do. And he's been he stayed in Florida during Hurricane Irma, and he was talking about the floods and whatnot. So just good people in soccer.
Yeah, there's a lot of them to go around. So we'll have a great conversation with him, and so stay tuned for that, everybody. So this is we'll be right back after this.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Quick break. We want to ask you a favor. We've asked you for favors before, but this is a big fans of ours, big friends of ours, and big fans of soccer, Mac Weldon. Not only have they offered to sponsor our podcast, they also sponsored our trip to Atlanta. Why? Because not only do they love the Cooligans, but they love soccer in general.
That's right. And they helped us out with, some really sweet underwear.
Oh, yeah.
They kept us feeling good in our undercarriage.
Absolutely. And they make amazing underwear. It's a kind of underwear that doesn't pick up any smells. And they're really, really comfortable to wear. And to all my big dudes out there, they have boxer briefs that are perfect for big guys. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and to all my thin dudes out there, they're perfectly good underwear.
For all you thin dudes.
They're just as good as other stuff, but higher quality fabric.
If you got chicken legs or you got some old turkey legs, it doesn't matter. It's perfect underwear for you. They helped us out. They actually sponsored our trip to Atlanta, so help them out. Why don't you go to macweldon.com, put in the promo code Cooligans, check out something. They got clothes, they got athletic gear, they got underwear, they got socks. The socks are even great.
Yeah, and you get a discount if you use the promo code Cooligans.
Yeah, absolutely. So put that in there and buy something. It'll make us look good, and it'll make you look good. Yeah, we're back, baby.
We are back, and this is gonna be nuts.
This is uncalled for.
This is
I think that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Uncalled.
For some reason we let this gentleman in my house, but also as soon as he walked in, he was way more prepared to be physically the man of this house than I ever have. I mean, this guy is well prepared.
He just alpha mailed both of us.
Yeah, he just walked in. He's like, "Why don't you put that shelf up?" And I was like, "Oh, geez, now I gotta figure out how to do that." I can just hire someone to do that. Shout out to Richie Tallway. So we talk about this all the time. Our fans, they're absolutely awesome. They're as big a part of the post show as anyone else. You know what I mean? They get up on Twitter and they tweet out some amazing stuff, and every once in a while some disgusting stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I said, let's bring that guy into my house. This guy is absolutely incredible and just spent a long time in Florida. He sat through Hurricane Irma, and why? I don't know why.
He didn't do much sitting. He was actually active.
Well, yeah, this guy's like, oh, a little bit of flood, so I screwed in this thing, and I'm like, what the fuck is he even talking about? But this guy has been a big fan of ours for a long time. Happy to have him. Happens to be in New York. We said, hey, get on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you're driving, the one, the only, put your hands together for Tropic Sounders, everyone.
Tropic Sounders.
A.K.A. Ceej, A.K.A.
Christ.
Christ, right?
It's Christ, right?
Christ,
yeah.
Like Christ without the H, because I'm definitely not that.
Yeah, but no, you are and I don't want to say the antithesis, but it gets pretty close.
No, but it absolutely is pretty close.
But when I hear Christ, I think of Chris Novoselic from Nirvana.
Oh, yeah, pretty close. I mean,
yeah, I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only other person I know with that name.
And he spelled it with a K, and it was like IRST, so it was almost like cursed.
Yeah.
So, my name's pretty fucked up. Just think of the former flip-flopper, Republican, Democrat, governor of Florida, Charlie Crist, and I'll steal all of his old signs and I'll use them to run for Congress one day.
Didn't he do something?
Vote for Crist.
He did something not cool, right? That governor, didn't he do something that was like people were mad at him for?
Isn't there any governor who hasn't done something not cool?
I don't know, just the name sounds familiar. That for some sort of controversy. Was he gay? Did he come out as gay and then bash gay people?
No, that was McGreevy, I think. That was from Jersey.
Yeah,
that was McGreevy.
Yeah, he said, I am a gay American. Everyone was like, I don't know if that's exactly how you put it when you come out.
I'm a gay.
Oh, we thought you were a gay Canadian. So sorry. Gay, we knew. It was the nationality that we had no idea.
But Chris, thank you for being here, man. And
do you go by Chris? Do you prefer Ceej?
I go by Ceej mostly. I mean, I grew up with basically 4 guys named Chris with the last name J.
Okay.
So it was Chris, CJ, and they just got lazy on me and made it Ceej. So,
Ceej.
Yeah.
All right.
It works.
One syllable. Always nice.
Exactly.
So tell us, I mean, did you grow up a soccer fan? What was because you run, I don't think I've heard of many of these, but you run a supporter group for Seattle, but in Florida, in Southern Florida.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, I did grow up a soccer fan, but the way I got the connection to Seattle was pretty ridiculous. My dad actually brought me to a Miami Dolphins, Seattle Seahawks playoff game in the old Orange Bowl way back in the day. I guess it was like 83, 84. Yeah, I'm old. But of course, any little kid that age sees a silver helmet, blue, green. Oh my God, what the hell? That's my favorite team. So I spent like the next 2 years trying to convince my dad that Seattle was actually our home team.
Wow.
So, jeez, what a turncoat.
I know, right? But yeah, I grew up any team, Seattle and Miami, I just grew up obsessed with it and started following the sound. I grew up playing soccer. I played, trained with a couple USL teams. I used to make a drive from South Florida to New Orleans to train with a couple teams on the weekends. Just ridiculous amounts of.
That's awesome. A lot of mileage.
Yeah, it's a lot of mileage.
How far of a drive is that?
Well, it's supposed to be 15 hours. I usually did it in 9. So
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a license legally, but
yeah, that whatever you did cannot be legal. Yeah. I don't know. There's you have to go up and around. You're like, go through the water if you go fast enough. You're going to skip over.
So
exactly.
So what was the reason or the starting point to start a supporters group for the Sounders? Was it when they got into MLS? When did that trigger?
Actually, Tropic Sound has been around since even before they were in the MLS. We were MLS, not the MLS. Sorry for all those purists out there.
Yeah.
At Ceej and CEEJNESS.
We have all suffered the trauma of those tweets, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, we had the Miami Fusion, and I mean, I was into MLS from
that last season was pretty great. I remembered a lot of it. You posted a video of the Ray Hudson era. Yeah. That was, I forgot how great that team was because I barely was paying attention to MLS at that time.
Yeah.
So I forgot. I remember hearing things about it from friends being like, "No, the Miami Fusion's actually good now."
Yeah, it was pretty phenomenal. I mean, we were good right from the get-go, pretty much. I mean, we made the playoffs our first year. When you look at the stat that they just threw up there for Atlanta United, saying that they were the last team to make it they were the newest team to make it in their inaugural season. The last two, 2009 Seattle Sounders, last one before that was 1998 Chicago Fire and Miami Fusion.
Yeah, Chicago Fire actually won the MLS Cup in their first season.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Was that Bob Bradley?
Yeah, that was
Bob Bradley.
And Cuauhtemoc Blanco.
Yep.
So you were a Miami Fusion fan.
I was a Miami Fusion fan.
And then, of course, if anyone watched that little mini doc that's on MLS, which is incredible, you know that it was pretty much up to that final game whether they were going to survive or not. It was them or the San Jose Earthquakes.
It was them or the San Jose Earthquakes.
And San Jose won.
Yeah, and San Jose won, and it still pisses me off because a couple seasons later they ended up moving them, and now they are the creamsicle, Houston Dynamo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they still move. So what the hell, damn it?
So how did you not become an LA Galaxy fan just to hate San Jose?
Oh, forget that, because we were already Seattle fans as well. So Tropic Sound started 2002. Technically 2002 or 2007. We're not entirely sure. That's what it says on the scarf.
That's right. That's
right. Yeah. So I mean, once the fusion were gone, we're like, screw it. We're just going all in with Seattle, and that's it.
And thus, then it was already around. So I was going to say
they were around they were around in the USL in the A League, and we made our first real away trip up to Seattle and saw them open Seahawks Stadium. They were actually the first match in there was a derby match against Vancouver Whitecaps, and we smashed them 4-1.
Oh man, that must have been great.
It was pretty crazy. There was about 20,000 fans there for the opening match, and it was a USL match.
And you're an OG Florida guy, right?
You're born and raised.
I mean, you must hate the weather in Seattle.
I mean, you get it off and on. I like to go back and forth. I mean, I'll take the cool and rain just as long as you give me humidity. I'll be okay.
You want the pain.
Crap, yeah, I love it. I love it. I like a nice glowy, glistening layer to myself. look at J-Lo and now look at me.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't tell the difference between the two of you. Well, you're both wearing that dress that's open all the way down.
I mean, that ass. You saw me when I walked in.
I mean, did I? You walked in backwards, so it's your fault.
I think my penis moved when he said glistening in his tone.
It'd be more comfortable if we all took our pants off.
Yeah. Once again, to anyone listening with their daughters, we apologize.
We do apologize
right now.
Or your sons.
Anybody. Anybody. If your mom happens to walk in the room while we're talking, I apologize.
Sup, Mom?
There it is. It's exactly what I wanted. Now, how does it feel having to be a fan from so far away? Now, you get to go to some matches. You got to go to Chicago, and you recently went to Philadelphia.
We were in Minnesota just this past time, and Philadelphia. We were just there this weekend, yeah.
How does that feel to sort of have to watch from afar an MLS team, and how does it feel to at least get to go and be a part of the away days?
The away days are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost prefer them to the home matches. The home matches are out of control.
Right.
I mean, when you've got like 4 sections across the back end zone, and then the upper tier of the same end zone for matches for the Emerald City supporters.
Yeah.
But when we get all crammed up in that little corner and we put like 200-300 people in a stadium, it's just bananas. We've got a tight little family. Our little crew is called the Corn Dog Squadron. We've been together for so long.
Wow,
so.
we've noticed you've added a new member, Cale Parker.
That's right.
Now, it's funny when this is the first time we meet Ceej. We've met Ceej. So Cale posted, "I hope you do to Alexis and Christian what you did to me when you met me." And I believe from the conversation back and forth, you picked her up and spun her around.
I did. I picked her up, spun her around, threw her over my shoulder.
She's compact.
She is very petite. She could do that. You would ruin your back if you tried that with me. Christian, not a problem.
Sure.
Come on, son. Remember who you're talking to.
I forgot.
This is the guy with the chainsaw. I'm going to put together your house. We could do a little bit in here.
Yeah, we're going to do it. He's going to build a loft
that
in
light
here.
up there. We could do a lot in here.
That was just left from the last guy.
Let me fix that for you.
Jeez, I need it. So you get to go to these away matches. Do you feel separate from the rest of the team? Do you feel you have to be more vocal to be considered a part of like the fandom of Seattle? Because I don't know that many teams have this, supporters groups in other cities. It'd be great to. I think the Portland Timbers have a New York division because there's so many people from Portland living here, but I can't think of anything else.
I mean, I wouldn't say we feel separate. I mean, we're a subgroup, so we're separate from the main supporters groups.
Sure.
But I mean, we do our own thing. We've always come to party. I mean, but they treat us with respect. I mean, we get just as many, people from Seattle following us as well as the locals. I mean, we even had a completely separate chapter, which ended up being Tropic Sound Cuba.
Yeah, baby.
And
who is that?
Shout out to Romero and Bellamia Iglesias.
I thought it was just you.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was just you pretending to be Cuban.
Yeah, right. Technically it is.
Yeah.
No, but they're a husband and wife, and they just kind of started. They wanted to run with it because all the Spanish speaking folks. I mean, they're new to Twitter and everything else like that. I mean, they're both mostly a bunch of emojis at this point. But
they're getting it. They're getting it together.
Yeah.
They got a picture of the lead Cuban.
It's all Ozzy Alonso.
Yeah,
I mean,
but emojis are the universal language.
Of course.
That's right.
Yeah.
Eggplant.
The hieroglyphic of the modern era.
That's right.
So you're building a bit of a group. How big is the group? Is it just you at this moment, or?
No, I mean if there's paid members into ECS, we're talking about 15, 20, but altogether that we end up getting together and watch with, there's like 30, 35. There's a lot of Seattle expats and everything.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah. And as far as Tropic Sound Cuba, is it do you have to convince them to follow like Seattle specifically, or
do you have to hold up a coffee?
Or do you just show a picture of Ozzy Alonso? He's like, he's the only one. This is the team you got to support.
You kind of got to do it.
They actually started their own thing outside of us because they were part of us. We used to do things. We would send jerseys or shirzies of Ozzy Alonso back to Cuba and everything else like that. Of course, they get confiscated. You can't have anything. You couldn't have anything American down there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we did a lot of communication. Like back in the day, we did phone calls where some of us would literally hold phone up to the radio or to the internet broadcast of it and just broadcast it back, and there would be a couple of people sitting around a phone listening to it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
In Cuba.
I mean,
Seattle Sounders fans in Cuba.
It's not just Cuba. It's, you've got TNT. Anywhere that we have somebody from, there are Seattle Sounders fans. We've got a bunch of people in Jamaica. I mean, like Damian Lowe, who used to be a Seattle Sounder. Now he's with Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Right.
He follows us, and he used to resend all sorts of our stuff back to Jamaica and everything else like that. So, I mean,
how does that, what is that the point? Is that why you guys started doing this, or is this just like a great fringe benefit of being in a place like Florida?
I mean, obviously being in Florida, it's completely multicultural. I mean, you guys know from New York here, this is basically a hub, same thing with South Florida. I mean, we're more of a hub to South America and Caribbean, and we've got people from everywhere that just show up. And you sometimes you just show up at a soccer bar and people just happen to be like, oh, that shirt, I recognize that shirt, and especially Xbox. That's worldwide.
Right.
And, I mean, sometimes you show up a place with Nico Ladero on your shirt and you got Uruguayans showing up. You got Ozzy Alonso, you got them showing up. Even in South Carolina, because he used to play for the Charleston Battery when he first defected.
Sure.
And you've got, when we went to Charleston for the preseason, most autographed person that we had was Ozzy Alonso, and kids are coming up to him in Charleston Battery Alonso jerseys.
That's awesome.
So I mean, you've got fans all across the South, because people, it's like, I mean, you think of the NBA today, how people aren't loyal necessarily to their local team, a lot of these kids, because everything, you can see any game you want anywhere now.
Exactly.
And people grow attached to a player. So when they find that player, they follow that player wherever they go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see. Like, I remember when we were in Atlanta, they started a Poku cheer.
Oh yeah,
because he played for the Atlanta Silverbacks.
Yep.
So you run this other group. You have all these other groups. You're illegally streaming over the phone to Cuba.
We've reported you.
Copyrighted
MLS. Sorry guys if you're listening, but
it's not TV.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, who cares? Screw your rights holders.
You can't see that. You can't see that message on the phone.
I'd be afraid of what he's going to make with the word HBO. But so you sort of are like on the forefront of helping spread soccer. That's kind of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Where do you see the MLS today as to where you started from? And what do you think? Where do you think it could honestly go?
When I think about where it started from, because I grew up in South Florida. I watched the Fusion come up. I was there at the tail end of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, who before that were even the Miami Gatos. And and watch them.
Yeah, that sounds like more of a gang.
Yeah,
a soccer club.
Pretty much is.
You better watch out for the Miami Gatos, bro.
You should see their logo. It looks like Thundercats. It's purple. It's totally Miami Vice lettering. So,
great.
Yeah, it's typical, totally Miami. And I mean, from there, I mean, even if you look at Miami FC in the US or NASL, they're drawing 9,000 plus fans a match. So
wild.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, there is definitely support for it. Even the local groups who've been trying to get the MLS team started.
The Beckham United, as they're still calling it.
Whatever the hell he calls his thing.
Yeah.
But basically the guy from Sprint and David Beckham and whatever Middle Eastern company that they're going to get to sponsor a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that support's been there the whole time. The only thing standing in the way from MLS Miami and actually happening is the city of Miami and the county of Miami-Dade. I mean, they've just thrown up roadblocks at every turn. They've had plans for stadiums like right on the water. I mean, some of the renderings that you've seen, and they've had the permits and everything else ready to go, shovel ready. And it's like, nah, we don't want to hear. We're not going to put you right next to the AAA where the Miami Heat play. And I mean, we're talking bayfront premium property. It's not, This isn't going to be some suburban stadium like how MLS, I guess, 2.0 or whatever was when they did.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. I mean, think about it. Chicago is way out of there.
Way out there. Columbus is in the middle of nowhere.
Columbus is in the middle of nowhere. You've also got LA Galaxy who play in Carson.
Right.
I mean, that was MLS. That was the original MLS thing for Dallas, where they play in Frisco. Dallas Burn. I still call them all by the OG names.
Yeah.
But
the Tampa Bay Mutiny.
Oh yeah, and see that the problem with that one was they played in a giant NFL stadium and they were only getting 8,000 fans. Miami Fusion, when they all talk about Columbus Crew had the first soccer-specific stadium, the Miami Fusion played in Lockhart Stadium, which was built for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. So that was a soccer-specific stadium.
And that's where Miami FC plays to this day, right?
Miami FC actually plays on the campus of FIU. You guys remember the name Ricardo Silva throwing around $4 billion? Yeah, it's called Ricardo Silva Stadium.
Really?
Yeah, there's a reason that dude's throwing.
So it's named after a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, shouts to Ricardo Silva. If you want to sponsor the podcast,
yeah, buddy.
I'm down with whatever illegal product you
at Soccer Cooligans, at Not Alexis, at Chris Blanco,
at Ceej.
So when if this project finally does come to fruition with Miami getting a team, how are you going to feel now that obviously you're way more involved with Seattle Sounders? Is this going to are you going to be happy that there's a team in Miami, or are you going to just kind of ignore it?
I'm going to be ecstatic that there's a team in Miami because these are going to be the most lit away days ever. I mean, as it was until we won the MLS Cup last year. The Orlando away trip last season was referred to as one of the craziest trips that they ever had. We ended up having.
Can you even remember it?
Oh man, I can remember it because there's pictures. I put those as Exhibit A.
It's like Memento. The memories are just tattooed on your body.
I hate when that happens.
I have scars.
Yeah, I hate when you wake up and you're like, Why is that finger bent that way?
Yeah, I mean, I brought my kid, who at the time was 7 years old, or even 6. It was just before his birthday. He was 6 years old. We got him in the stands, facing away from the stadium, giving middle fingers to the other team.
Hilarious.
Oh, it's great.
Dad of the year.
That's right. You got to raise him right.
He's not just a bad influence on Twitter. That's
or on us.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
Or on our fans.
I mean, this
Poor
weekend.
Kale.
Poor Kale. No, she was like this before I met her.
Yeah.
I just brought it out of her.
I hope so. I think she posted that you and Jay are like two devils on each shoulder.
That's pretty much
like
right.
a devil on each shoulder. And I'm like, yeah, that's what they are to us.
Knock one off, the other appears.
Yeah. I asked you before, but like, you think that if a Miami team comes, it's sort of going to dwindle the fandom of other teams in MLS or in Miami, I should say? Or do you think your group will stay together?
Well, I mean, I know our group's going to stay together. We have a lot of Seattle and Washington State expats who are involved, and I mean, it's a pretty decent sized group, and once you get into it and once you get into the support, it's kind of a hard thing to get rid of. I mean, you can like a local team. Plus, I mean, you think about a place like Miami. That's one thing that we always say is like it's the 6th borough, because all you jackasses come down there from the winter. You retire down there and you never go away.
Sure.
You always talk about how great New York is, and I just tell them 95 North.
All my Jewish family members are there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Well, listen, I got family washing up ashore, so they're not going to complain. Well, it might start again, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like Miami is definitely one of those cities where like not many people are from Miami.
Yeah,
everyone's from somewhere else. Unless you really go in. Like I have family in Hialeah; they're all from Miami. You go to my South Beach. No one from Miami.
Yeah, nobody from Miami's there.
No, they're not there. So you do get people from, and especially Seattle, not a city that I'm familiar with a lot of expats from. But clearly, if they're leaving, they're going to a place like Miami.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not going from Seattle to Portland or
not at
Montana.
all.
You're going to a place that's warm, sunny. I mean,
has anyone ever gone to Montana besides witness protection?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Ceej, we have to get into let's talk sports. Let's talk soccer. Let's talk the Seattle Sounders. The reigning champions of MLS.
That's right.
Wait, did you go to the MLS Cup final?
I did not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I have a day job and I'm a single dad, so I only get a couple away days a year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But what do you think about the Sounders this year? Obviously, you've heard us talking about them a lot. You've heard Alexis's criticism of Clint Dempsey in general for either for the Sounders or for the U.S. men's national team.
I think a lot is made of that. Way more than needs to be. I think he's just a little too old to be starting on the men's national team, but whatever.
But for the Sounders, he could play at any age.
Yeah. Also, I mean, the guy, what did he have? Like a heart attack or something? He had something wrong with his heart. I mean, he had an ablation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Far be it for me to worry about this man's heart.
When I hear that, I think he did he have a child who was black and Asian?
He had a ablation.
Possibly.
What are we supposed to do? We can't let him on the team. Look at this kid. We can't let him on the team.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
Seattle is all accepting.
Yeah,
that's
true.
important. But what do you think of the Sounders this season? And obviously, they haven't clinched a playoff spot. But how do you feel about their chances on a repeat?
I mean, the Sounders were really spoiled at the end of the year with that run that they went on. Sure. As soon as Schmetz took over, I know you hate him, but
no, he hates me.
No, he doesn't hate you. The thing about Schmetz is if you see any of his speeches, he does a lot of this thing where he points at you and makes sure that you know that he's talking to you.
Okay,
because
does he roll his eyes and point back?
Yeah, he's trying to acknowledge you. He's trying to let you know it's like, hey, I know you're here and you're part of the crew.
And I wish you weren't. I think that's the tone he had.
And get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's probably why we had trouble with the credentials for MLS All-Star.
Yeah, our team, we got so spoiled with the run at the end of the year. We came in second from the bottom when Schmetzer came in, and Nico showed up, and Torres was coming back, and we basically, Schmetzer said we have to do something like 8 wins, 4 ties, and 2 losses to even make the playoffs. That was his plan. We went exactly 8, 4, and 2, and in that time, I mean, we were planning on having Clint Dempsey the whole time. Of course, he goes down with the heart thingamajigger and just ripped it out of his chest.
Official. Yeah. Doctor's words, not his.
Thingamajigger. That's right. Clint went down, and it was as soon when Schmetzer came in, I was actually at the first match against LA, and you could just see the difference when Nico Ladero was on the field. And between Nico combining with Clint, combining with Jordan Morris, and we were still we just switched formation because Siggy had come in the beginning of the year with some 4-3-3 crap, and he kept trying to push it, even though Obafemi Martin's like jet 2 weeks before the season.
Right.
So, I mean, that was supposed to be the plan. Is we were going to have 3 strikers, and when he jets, I mean, we only have 2, and he's still trying to push 3. So. Yeah.
Who was taking over that third spot? Was it Will Bruin?
Nelson Valdez was supposed to be the starter.
Yeah, that's right. Nelson Valdez, who didn't score until the playoffs.
He didn't score until the playoffs.
Hell of a forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll just save it for the end of the party.
Buddy, I don't show up, but at the end,
exactly,
I'm there helping clean up.
Exactly.
So you had this great run. Do you think that's going to happen this year? You might need it.
I mean, the way it's weird the way that it's lined up, because we actually started off a lot better than we had this year, but there was so much than last year but there was so much criticism because we weren't just winning games, we weren't finishing. We were having possession of like 76, 70, 80% against teams, and we just weren't finishing. I mean, you can kill a team by the death of 1,000 passes, but you can kill yourself too if you're not having shots.
For sure. I'm an Arsenal fan. We all know.
Exactly. I mean, even if you look at Nico Lodero's numbers this year compared to last year, and you map out the half season versus the whole season and everything else, he's got half the shots so far this full season than he's had of
half a season last year.
Season. Yeah, I mean, so it's coming to the point where you can pass the ball around all you want. You just have the shots.
What is it? Did he get figured out, or
all his percentages are up. His passing percentages are up. His defensive percentages are up. This team is built on defense as much as we have for flash up front. It's built on defense. When you got Chad Marshall and Ramon Torres in the middle and the back, I mean, it's bananas. Then you got Jovan Jones out on the left with 10 assists before the season's even halfway over. And right back was always such a mystery to us. Brad Evans was supposed to start the season there, but the injury proneness, and then we brought in Kelvin Leardom, and he's brought such an element to it. It's short up the back, and you got Roldan and Ozzy in the middle. In front of that, Roldan ever since college, he was a 10. Yeah. But I mean, learning under Gonzalo Pineda and next to Ozzy Alonso, the dude's a phenomenal 8.
Yeah, he is. He's very good. Yeah, he's caught fire this year.
Yeah, and I mean, we never really had a full roster. Thanks, Garth Lagerwey, who also was a goalkeeper on the Miami Fusion.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, with all the injuries and everything else, I mean, our starting lineup against Vancouver the other day had so many backups in it with all the strikers down and everything. We had started Clint at the 9, and then he had rolled on from his normal defensive midfielder position up at the 10 with Victor Rodriguez and Nico Lodero as wings. So, I mean, you're all over the place. You're just trying to scrap together pieces at some point.
First of all, Ceej knows his stuff.
Ceej knows his stuff.
Yeah, no, he's not short of information on this team for sure.
But I'm just like, I just thought it was the analysis was gonna be as as gross as his GIF. You know what I mean? Yeah. But no,
they gotta get in there and play hard. He's like, no, let me talk about formations. That's incredible.
Go deep.
There you go.
But this is great.
Push it.
But I following you on Twitter and getting to know you, and I feel like I get to know more about just how the Seattle Sounders fans kind of discuss games and discuss their players, because there is a lot of maybe more than some other teams. I feel like there's a lot of public and outright love of certain players, but Christian Roldan seems to be one of them.
Absolutely,
him eating donuts and things like that are like things that,
or who I like to call Dad Marshall.
That's right. Dad Marshall. We call him Dad Marshall too. Dad bod.
But one thing I don't really see too much of is like outright. Maybe just because I'm not in the Seattle Sounders sphere. In Twitter, I don't see that much negativity towards players, but like how do people react? How do the Seattle Sounders, elite fans kind of respond to how kind of, a lackluster of a season Jordan Morris has had, and Jovan Jones, like, agreeing to leave and maybe not showing the most. I feel like, especially with the game against Philly, there were a couple opportunities where he didn't really close down.
There was definitely call out. I mean, among the Twitter and it can get loud sometimes too. A couple weeks ago, there was, hey, we need to bench Jordan. I mean, it comes from starting of the season, he's up at the 9, and then all of a sudden, well, Jordan's not scoring, and Bruin's cleaning up all this stuff that we're finishing at the end of the match, so put Bruin up front. Let's move Jordan back to the wing so he can run at people, so he's got more open. And then all of a sudden, oh, he's not finishing over there too. Oh, look, we got Victor Rodriguez. Maybe Jordan needs some time on the bench. And, well, that was solved by an injury, unfortunately, but right now, I mean, the way that they're doing it now, I mean, even with the injuries to everybody else, we've got, Clint Dempsey up top, and as Alexis hates him, he can still play plenty of games. I mean, just this week,
get him out of there. I hate him.
We had 3 matches in 1 week, and he didn't even start. He didn't start on Saturday or Sunday versus Philly. So, and I mean, he still came in and played 35 minutes. So,
can this team, the way it's made up, win the MLS Cup? Honestly,
I believe so. Because
how you've got Toronto playing out of their skin. No one's even considering the fact that they have 36 goal differential. I mean, no one's even brought this up, and they're monsters. And then you've got Atlanta, nipping at the heels. Yeah. And also you've got Vancouver, which is parking the bus pretty effectively.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you see Wednesday?
No. We saw the highlights.
Oh, you saw the highlights? Yeah. Sounders pretty much whipped their ass.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Vancouver white tips. Just a little thing. Yeah. Built a bonfire, burn them down.
Little white hills. But I mean, clearly, in a playoff scenario, playing that parking the bus style and playing that defensive, and they have your old forward, Freddie Montero, who you could use right now. A guy like that. He cut the hair. Maybe you don't recognize him anymore. But you have a guy like that who has the skill to clean up on a counterattack, or at least to finish on a counterattack. You really think that going up against this type of competition, playing the lackluster way you've been playing, that the Seattle Sounders can still make it to the MLS Cup final?
Are you trying to fight me?
No, certainly not. You've got drills, dude.
No, absolutely. I definitely think they can. It's going to be a tough road, but even in the post-game comments just this past week, Schmetzer was like, we got to figure it out. I mean, we played just the match on Sunday against Philly. We threw a lot of S2 guys out there, a lot of bench players out there, just because of the way that the schedule is. And you have to figure it out. When it comes down to the playoffs, you've got so much time in between the damn games. It's worse than the NBA playoffs, where it takes like 18 months to crown a champion.
But there's an international break in the middle of it.
Exactly.
There
exactly.
is.
And between that, I mean, the international break this week, it's like, come on, it'll give us time to heal guys and put our best 11 out there. But I think they can do it. They have to put it together. They make it click when they get it together and when they just go after it. It's the whole possession thing. I mean, come on, I'm not about easing it in. I just want to throw it all right up in there.
Sure. Get the balls in there too.
Just push it.
All in the net.
Balls deep.
Yeah, that sounds exactly. This is why you can never be a youth coach, okay?
What do you mean?
Just because the rhetoric would be just too complicated.
The parents are like, look, I can't tell you he's doing this, but I'm pretty sure he's doing this.
When in Pennsylvania this just past weekend, we were at a USL match. Shout out to the Capital City crew for Harrisburg City Islanders.
Great logo.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love them. Looks like Florida.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania.
Hilarious. And I got a speeding ticket in Harrisburg. It's a cool town.
Yeah. It's great. The president of their supporters group, Capital City crew. I was talking to his 13-year-old son about butt stuff. So, I mean, I am a youth coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
You got to raise ball kids.
The problem is you
like
coach
cigarette butts about to not smoke.
No, of course.
It's kind of the same, but it's the difference between driving a car and riding a tractor.
I feel like you are a youth coach, but the coaching is not in sports. It's in something very different.
It's life. It's life coach.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, look, you could be a life coach for 20 seconds on the internet. You get the certificate.
Well, I'm curious. When we talk about Clint Dempsey, how much do you think he honestly has to give? How much does he have left? Do you want to see him playing for the Seattle Sounders 2 years from now? How far does that love affair kind of go with some of the aging players?
Especially, he's one of those dudes that you're gonna have to rip the jersey off his back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing with Clint is even this this season, he's even had a sit down with Brian Schmetzer and everything else like that about, kind of preserving his heart and everything else like that, being older, not playing so many back-to-back matches like the 3-match week this week.
Right.
So they kind of rest him a little bit. Personally, I would like to see him play a couple more years. I think he's still got it. When he's got the rest and when he's feeling good, I mean, there's nobody better. There's no better American striker. I mean,
for sure.
The slogan on our scarf is score goals and fuck shit up. That is the definition of Clint Dempsey. He just goes out there, he scores goals, and he fucks shit up.
Yeah.
People don't know what he's going to do. And it's just, it's a marvel to see. And I mean, you need somebody like that on your team who's unpredictable, but can find that seeing eye pass, can hit that long free kick. I mean, just something.
Yeah, he does. Even in there were a couple plays against when he came into the game against Philly.
Instant fire.
Instant fire. You just feel it's just like, oh, this is the spark. This is the difference.
Look at the match against Portland a couple like a month or so back where Sounders were down 2-0 at halftime and down a man. He comes in the 75th minute or somewhere around there and sets up one goal and then scores the match winner in the 94th.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's done the same thing for the men's national team. As much as I like to, disrespect him maybe for the calendar, I was like,
Alexis.
and I was like, I got to be honest. I'm like, I ate my words. I apologized because he came in and immediately changed the game. Part of it is, I apologized, but he's one of those people that he roams a lot. He doesn't play a specific position.
Absolutely.
I remember how well it worked at Fulham when he was at Fulham. Mm-hmm. I remember how badly it worked at Tottenham, and which is why he couldn't get on there. Now we talk about the connection between him and Nico Lodeiro. Mm-hmm. It seems to me like it's still not understood how they're both going to play.
Well, I mean,
or at least together.
See what? I don't understand how it works and how it doesn't work sometimes because if you look at the first couple games after we got Nico with Clint, you look at LA, who we were in such a shit place at that time when the first match with
it was all falling apart.
Yeah, it was completely falling apart. I'm taking my son to his first Sounders match in Seattle, and we're sitting there going, oh God, we're gonna lose 4-1. I'm like, please just don't do that. Yeah. And we come out and we had it 1-0 for a while, and we ended up tying 1-1, and we showed up. And then the very next week we're back down in Orlando just having a party, and Clint gets a hat trick. I mean, Orlando goes up 1-0, and we're thinking, oh crap, it's the same stuff all over again. And just between Clint and Nico's finding those long passes to Clint running in, he was finding the long passes to Jordan, who would lay him off to Clint. I mean, it was just bananas. I mean, just the way it works sometimes. Then when Clint went down, they had to refigure it all out.
But that's also when Nico really took off, is when Clint wasn't there.
Well, Nico was actually showing up before that.
Yeah.
And it was Nico, I think, it was more the deep, when he was playing more deep and setting up those long through balls to Jordan is when he took off, in my personal opinion. But now this year, I mean, people came in expecting it to be like Oba Clint in 2014, where they just lit the league on fire. Yeah. And
they came to NYCFC. They came to Yankee Stadium, and we were just like, does everyone else see Oba Femi Martins? Because it seems like no one's even covering this guy. It was very frustrating. We're like, he's right there.
It was so nice. No lube.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh my God. Yeah, I heard. We didn't sit after that match.
I believe it.
Do you think Schmetzer's the guy? Because I got to be honest, I feel like no one believed he was the guy until he won the MLS Cup final. Even that morning when I was talking to him and he hated me, I'm like, well, you're going to be gone, so don't disrespect me. And here he still is, carrying around that cup of coffee. He's
not the most charismatic of people. He's the substitute teacher of the year.
He's Chad Marshall's uncle. Is who he is.
Yeah, he's a local guy from Seattle. And I mean,
he won when they were in the A-League. I know that.
He won twice in the A-League. He won twice in the A-League. And there was a big uproar about when Sounders were jumping up to MLS about why can't we keep Schmetzer as head guy? But of course, they want to make a splash. They want somebody with MLS experience.
Yeah.
They got basically the winningest MLS coach ever at the time, or now, I don't know, whatever. Siggy.
Yeah, it still is.
I mean, and he did a great job. Siggy did a great job, and they kept Schmetz on as the number one assistant, and he's been there the whole time. He knows the players. He knows everything in and out. The dude won in the A-League with nothing. I mean, and he ended up bringing a couple of those guys up to the MLS squad, like Zach Scott, who just retired last year, has 350 appearances for the Sounders.
That's great.
I mean, he's Mr. Sounder. And Roger Levesque. I mean, you know what he's done against the Portland Timbers.
Is there a Mrs. Sounder?
Well, she's not home right now. Roger Levesque is famous for that. What is it? He had 63 seconds or a 16-second goal? 48 seconds.
48 seconds.
He came in and he scored it against Portland.
It was when they were still in the USL. We were in MLS, and it was and he just comes in, fires right off, hits the goal, and the timber chopping fall down tree celebration. Yeah. And now if you see any of the local commercials with the Seattle Sounders, anytime we play the Timbers, hashtag fell the Timbers, and they just have Roger Levesque out there in a uniform, like cutting down trees or like throwing logs into a wood chipper, and he just stands there looking at it, setting fires. And I mean, it's great.
I watched the MLS, the movement, I believe, covered this, but he's like not allowed in most bars in Portland.
That's right.
That's right. To this day, like he's still not allowed. Like
he's like Bill Buckner,
and he's one of the nicest guys ever too. And he's just like, you know what? If they got to have somebody to hate, why not me?
Yeah, I mean, look, at least you're remembered. Exactly. At the end of the day, you got to be remembered.
I mean, you got to take a lot of antidepressants, but whatever.
I mean, look, there's things worse not being allowed in Portland. Like, just don't go to Portland. You know what I mean? God. I mean, actually, it's also kind of cool. Like, I would go to Portland just to see what happens. I would love that. I don't want to be hated by Portland. I love the city of Portland, but I would love to just have a place that doesn't want me there and be like, I guess my in-laws. I go to Thanksgiving dinner.
Your father's home.
Or his heart.
What father?
If you're watching this, go fuck. Anyway.
I'll be your dad, Alexis.
Nothing scary.
I'll teach you how to use a chainsaw.
Speaking of chainsaws,
teach myself to shave.
Speaking of chainsaws, we should ask. Hurricane Irma did go through Florida, and that was.
I thought it was going to be a Portland Timbers thing.
Did not score goals, but did fuck shit up.
But we had. I know you had tweeted out some stuff about just like people who needed help like boarding things up.
Yeah.
And we're just generally. It is fascinating because I personally feel like it is so much different than any other sport where the sense of community is so much stronger within soccer. Even if it's a supporters group from a team that's 5,000 miles, 6,000 miles away. What was that experience like? I mean, Florida obviously goes through hurricanes from time to time, but since we met you and since we've gotten to know you, what do Tropic Sounders do whenever there's like scenarios like this when it comes to prepare? Because I know you were actively yourself helping board places up.
Absolutely.
What happened in that time preparing for those things?
Well, I mean, living in South Florida, growing up in South Florida, you've been through these things a few times. And I mean, when you see a 5, generally it's out there. If it's 1 through 3, you're like, you'll be okay, whatever. Yeah. So once you get to 4 or 5, you start going, then the cone of death is right over you, and you need to get prepared. Yeah. And with about a week out, or with about 3-4 days, a week out, people still needed help, and we just did. And a lot of our guys in Tropic Sound got together and helped out wherever we are, because we're not in one city specifically. Right. I mean, we covered all of Florida. We've got people up in the Gulf. We've got people as far. We've got North Carolina, Kale's in Chicago. Yeah. People all the way up to Virginia, all over South Florida, and down into the Keys, West Florida. It's just everybody, whoever could help, just got out and helped. I mean, between me and Rome and Bella, we were active on Twitter. We were trying to keep up with whoever was there. We used our phone list, called every single member that we have to make sure that they were okay. If they needed help, we'd get them help. Rome owns his own business, so he was out there driving around in his work truck. Wherever anybody needed help, they would set it up. Bella was working the phones like crazy, just telling us, look, we got people up in Boynton. We got people down in West Kendall. We got people in North Keys. And we would just send out the message, hey, you're already set up. Can you help this person? When people see that, it's like the neighbors are like, oh, man, I can't do this by myself. Can you just help me with this real quick? Yeah, I think we got all together about 70, 80 houses prepared, whether it's just like putting up shutters, boarding up something, or even just helping, abuela with the big old potted plant to bring it in the pot. The big old
all right,
pot.
Abuela got a grow house.
Abuela married legal,
Coquina.
Yeah. It is Florida.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we watched from afar and we couldn't help but not only be impressed, but also like as New Yorkers, this isn't something we typically have to handle. So we don't understand. We see the videos on the news and stuff of people boarding up their homes and stuff. But we all think about like the old people that live in Florida and how that gets taken care of. So it's really awesome that you would you and your friends and the whole group would make it sort of a priority to help others in that moment where I probably would have just left. I think that's what I would have done. I would have just driven north.
I mean, a lot of people did, but I mean, the thing is, we've been through this. I mean, after Andrew wiped Homestead off the map.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just entire cities, and they didn't even know how strong Andrew was for 15 years afterwards because it literally blew all the sensors off the top of the National Hurricane Center in Miami.
Yeah.
And after going through that and seeing a 5 and how good they've been with the predictions more and more, shout out to science.
Just hands up emoji.
Hashtag science. Well, with all that, it's seeing it bear down on you. You got to get prepared, and you got to get prepared early. I mean, pretty much everyone in Florida has extra gallons of water in their pantry, canned food all over the place. I mean, after Wilma was the one that went and sat over the tip of Mexico, over the Yucatan Peninsula for like 5 days and just pounded, and then came back across the state from the west. Wilma wiped out my house. I literally held my roof together by holding a sliding closet door against it after my side roof had blown away. I held a closet door against it through the second half of the storm. And yeah, I mean, we had in the eye of the storm, because it was such a big storm, I had my dad on the phone shouting out where the second eye wall was. And we were going from house to house just in our neighborhood. We had 14 tornadoes come through our neighborhood in Wilma. We were without power for 21 days, and we were without water for 17. So
there has to be somebody must be like, hey, don't go to that neighborhood.
Yeah, don't hang out.
Don't hang out there. It's some bad tornadoes out there.
I know what he's doing in there.
There's like 8, 9 of them out there. Why still live in Florida? What is the point of living in the middle of, nature is trying to murder you?
Well, you see it coming. You see it coming from why live in San Francisco when all of a sudden the earth can swallow you immediately?
Yeah.
I mean, at least we got warning.
Yeah, true.
But you got warning and you can get out.
It is always nice to have somebody who swallows. Anyway.
Yes. Thank you, Christian, my sweet baby bird. I have corrupted you.
Boy, has he.
I'm going to lather him up.
Once again, we'd like to apologize to all the parents listening to their with their children, if they're still listening.
I am not apologizing.
But, I think this does kind of point something out, that supporting soccer can save your life.
Exactly.
Yes. And what makes it very important for us, and one of the reasons why we wanted to have this conversation with you, is when we talk about like building up MLS, it's not just about getting more people to watch on TV, which is important, or more asses in the seats. It's about what is the community that's built around the fans.
Absolutely.
And what does that do? Julian Sakovic is doing a great job on the MLS channel, showing all the supporters and all they do for the community. But also, like in smaller instances, something that's not as organized as those things are, is just when tragedy strikes, what do we as soccer supporters do? And typically what we do is we turn to the communities we're a part of. And there's no bigger community in many of our lives than soccer. For us, it's like when something happens in the comedy community, we all reach out to help. Soccer is the exact same way. It's like this mini other family we have.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we talk about with away days. We've got our away family. I mean, I've got my best friends are in Valparaiso, Indiana, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Chicago, Illinois, just because of we meet up and we go to the away games and we go hard. You know, that's just really all it is. When it comes
since you don't live near each other, you can't piss each other off that often, which is very important for best friends.
Oh yeah, we can. You should see the group text.
Oh man, I can only imagine, because what you put public is pretty disgusting. What do you hide from the people?
You want to see the picture?
No, I don't.
You sure?
Kale, what are you doing with these folks? Kale, run.
No, don't stay. You like
the
it.
princess. If she's the princess of the Cooligans, what are you?
Don't worry about what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
The Duke.
Yeah. Oh Oh no! Oh God!
New name.
The Duke of the Cooligans. Well, listen, I know you're up in Brooklyn. It's very different than Florida, but hopefully this right here has brought you a little closer to that family that you don't have right now because since you're away.
You're trying to say I don't have a family?
And well, the soccer family.
Oh, okay.
We're
Gotcha.
your family.
He's actually here to escape from his son.
Yeah.
Damn it. Shout out to Donovan.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of shout outs to Tropic Sounders, shout outs to Tropic Sounders Cuba, shout outs to all the Seattle Sounders fans that are outside of Seattle. Shout out to all the soccer fans that are outside of the city of the team they support, yet still make it a point to make it a part of their daily life. It's this. This is it. This is what's going to get MLS to the next level. This is what's going to get MLS to be the best league in the world. It's not just better players. It's not just better coaches. It's not just better stadiums. It's not just better ratings. It's fans that give a shit, and it's fans that go out of their way to help out other fans and to work with other fans and to build that community from the inside out. So shouts to you, Ceej, for doing what you do and for coming to Brooklyn and being a part of this podcast.
Of course.
Thank you so much, dude.
I couldn't not come here.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get handsy as soon as you get
Oh, boy. We're going to keep the other. We have nanny cams all over this place.
Good. Send me the tape.
Before we go, mention where people should follow on Twitter to support Tropic Sound and yourself.
I personally am at Ceejness, CeeJness. That's my personal stuff, which is a hell of a lot weirder than Tropic Sounders. And Tropic Sound is at Tropic Sounders. And Tropic Sound Cuba is at Tropic Sound Cuba. And those are pretty much the easiest play. It's the same throughout any of them. Instagram, Periscope, whatever. Don't go on the Periscope unless you're above 18.
Yeah, or have a fake ID.
Or have a fake ID. You can do that.
And, listen, if we have anyone that's listening in Southern Florida, do you guys get together? Is there a specific bar or something you guys go watch the games at?
Because we are kind of scattered, we do a couple of different places. In Miami, we've been to Black Label, which is a newer place. In Delray, which is where I'm from, Delray Beach, which is Palm Beach County, we do a place called Cabo Flats, which is in West Boca, or West Delray. And we just we get together wherever we can, and depending on how big the match is, we'll even do it at my house. So
that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So you post on Twitter where you're going to be viewing them and all that.
Yeah, if we get together, it's either on Twitter or on the Facebook. They're all the same. Tropic Sounders, Ceejness, whatever.
Awesome. So guys, if you're in Florida and you don't have a team that you currently support and you want to check this out, go watch a game with these guys. I think it'll be absolutely awesome. Check them out on Twitter. Tropic Sounders, Ceej, thanks so much for being here, dude.
Anytime. My pleasure, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, brother.
And for the rest of the fans, we'll be right back with segment number 3 right after this. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We just wanted to break in real quick and ask you to do us a huge favor.
Yeah, all we want you to do is just subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is that's the big look. We work very hard on this podcast. We're also making a very concerted effort to put out some more video content for you guys, and we want to get some people watching those videos as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now you got about 30 more seconds before the second segment comes up. So I beg you, if you're on your phone, you can do other stuff while you're listening to this podcast. Why don't you click on YouTube, the YouTube app? Why don't you put in soccer, Cooligans, and just hit that subscribe button? And if you can, hit that little bell, that notification, let you know every time we put up a video. We're working really hard to give you guys at least one video a week. We have a video right now that's called FIFA the News, that we're playing FIFA, and we're having that predict the biggest match, and we're talking about a lot of stuff that's happening on the news in the video, and there's a lot of cool editing that's involved. It takes a long time, but it's really, really funny.
Exactly. So, look, we're doing a lot of work. We want just a little bit of validation.
That's it.
Just a little bit.
Is that hard? Come on.
We're just two little comedians. Yeah. Want a little like?
Too poor. I would like some more, please. Some more followers and subscribers on our YouTube. So if you can, hit the like button, comment on some of the videos if you can. At the very minimum, hit the subscribe and maybe even share it with your friends. It would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, baby.
We're back. Oh, wasn't that great?
Ceej, what a great guy.
What a great guy. And we don't even have to file a restraining order.
No, we put all these cameras up just in case he tried to touch us. And now I have to find a way to take him down. In fact, I need him to take them down.
Sure. We just have to go to the precinct to file a statement. That's all.
Yeah. What a wonderful dude. And I think this one of the most impressive things is just the ability to sort of create this little bit of a atmosphere for a team that's not even playing in your city, outside of your city. The rub against MLS is that it had no fans back in the day. We got fans at teams in other cities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and let's not underestimate how difficult this must be. To basically corral like a lot of different people in like different counties in Florida, and just to unify on supporting especially and a soccer team of all things, a soccer team that is so far away from where you live, so it's not easy to do. And on top of that, they actually are doing like supporting each other, supporting the community. Like it's just a great story.
It is. It's awesome, and it's something that we love to highlight. Because when we started the podcast, one of the first things we said is like, wouldn't it be cool if like we like led to more MLS fans? Like, wouldn't that be wild? Like that was it was out of our expectations, but it was like one of those things like, imagine people like followed MLS because of us. That'd be wild. And that's exactly what he's doing, Yeah,
it is a thing I didn't expect either. Where just in regards to that, where like when we were in Atlanta, some people came up to me and they were like, I love listening to your podcast because I get to learn more about the league, which is surreal to me.
Yeah.
One, because there's 100 other podcasts where you can learn about the
league. And also, what are you learning about this league through us? I mean, thank you, but also, really? I
think people are learning more on an anecdotal level, like just when. Either the fruit bowl or Nemanja Nikolic caressing your face.
Yes.
Like these are things where like, okay, well now the Chicago Fire seem a little bit more intriguing because they're going around touching bearded man's faces.
Well, I mean, if he loves Alexis, maybe we should learn to love him.
So that is great, and we're glad Ceej could come by and
he's one of our day ones, man. He's just one of our OG fans, and we're happy to have him around.
Yeah. So
look at this. In a week, we get to hang out with Jay. We get to hang out with Ceej. A couple months ago, we got to hang out with Kale.
Yeah.
We're going to get to all the fans.
There's a bunch of people. I know there's like...
I can't wait to go to Columbus and meet Ty.
I met Ty. He came to your show. He came to my show in Hoboken.
Yeah, that's right. Hoboken Comedy Festival.
Dimitri... Remember Dimitri?
Dime Tree. Yeah, of course.
He was one of the early guys that was watching us. There's I think he's a Montreal fan but living in Toronto, or he's a
Toronto fan living in Montreal.
Yeah, it's one of those. I forgot which.
He'll let us know. We've met Kevin Foy, of course.
Wayne Powell. Wayne Powell is a Portland Timbers guy.
Yeah.
Who's early. These are the early people.
These are the early ones. Of course, Dave Monsión and Youssef. I mean, those guys are literally day one, because we just text Dave, hey, could you listen to this podcast we started?
Yeah, it's I guess for us, it's like crazier for the people that are not in New York, because obviously the NYCFC fans, we're like, we meet them, so they're our Facebook friends, so you understand like that degree of separation,
right?
But if somebody in Portland, you're like, oh well, how the hell?
Why? What did we do to you?
Don't use this as evidence against us. So that was great. Thank you, Ceej, again. But there were a bunch of games, a lot of games this past week. There was a bunch of Wednesday games and a bunch of Saturday games, and then one Sunday match. But we should, since we just spoke to Ceej, we should discuss the Seattle Sounders.
Yeah,
the Sounders of Seattle.
What's going on with them?
Well, they, I would say, like most of the Western Conference, they're just like staying afloat. Outside of Vancouver, I would say no other team kind of looks super consistent.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so all right, they lost to Philly and in terrible fashion.
Yeah,
right?
So Philly,
a team they could have easily beaten. Look, Philly's got a lot of talent on there, but they haven't had a great season, right? But then the other question becomes, does this even matter? It's not like Seattle's not going to make the playoffs.
Well, they haven't clinched a playoff spot,
right? But is it like, I mean, are they really struggling?
They could lose the opportunity to host their playoff game. So this does matter.
Yeah, for sure. You want home field advantage. Look, they should have won. But at the same time, like you're looking back at some of these matches and going, I mean, is it, the most important
I mean, I feel like Seattle Sounders supporters would disagree with you.
Well, I mean, also, I don't think Seattle Sounders supporters are taking into consideration that they got to see a Millie Rock in the game.
Yeah, from the opposing team.
Yeah, but still, I mean, look, anytime I see a Millie Rock, I feel good about myself, okay? If you don't know, that was the dance that Marcus Epps did.
Yeah.
Just hit him with a little...
Yeah, after his goal, which, you know what? So Marcus Epps scored the first goal, and this game could have been, or probably should have been 1-1. But that Epps goal was great, and it was a great cross. He was basically by himself. But Stephen Fry should probably do better there. He got beat near post.
He did stand on his head for most of the match. He just let two in.
Fry being Fry. That's what he does.
True.
They're not going to get far without some miraculous saves from time to time.
It's like if I stop at one slice, people are going to be like, oh, what are you doing? We know who you are.
Is everything okay?
Yeah,
you're really not being yourself right now.
They just go right up to me. They put the back of their hand on my forehead. They're like, I think he's a little warm.
Get this man a pizza stat.
Yeah. But somebody crushing Advil on a pepperoni.
He's not himself. So, but I would say for that particular. I mean, look, Marcus Epps, it was a great shot. He went near post. I think Stephen Fry did the thing of presuming where the shot was going to go before it was taken.
Right.
Because he shouldn't, how good of a keeper he is, he probably shouldn't get beat near post there.
No.
It wasn't.
The Albert goal, there's no way. I don't think anyone could have saved that.
No one expected that shot.
If there were 3 keepers in goal that day, none of them would have gotten that one.
Well, Stephen Fry did get a hand on the ball, but it was going to go in regardless if he got a hand on it.
If he got a head on it, that would have taken his head off.
Well, that second goal, even though he got a hand on it and it did go in, it reminded me. Did you shake Stephen Fry's hand when we were at the All-Star game?
Yes.
I shook his hand too. I know, and Kale gave him a high five.
Right.
But I remember when I shook his hand, how tiny my hand felt in his palm.
Not just that. It comes at you the way, like if someone made a hand out of cinder block.
Sure.
That's the weight at which the hand comes at you.
Thick hands, man.
Just big ass hands.
Yeah.
That should not be the way hands are. I mean, it was too big. It was so funny. Like it was taped up, and I'm like, your hands are invincible. Why are your knuckles taped up?
You don't need tape on those knuckles. Yeah, but now when I think of after I shook his hand, I look back at some of the saves that he's made, but it legitimately. I legitimately feel like the dude has like stronger hands than a lot of other keepers. Right. I don't know if he does like hand exercises. I don't know.
You high-fived every keeper though.
But I don't know.
We're on our way there.
It's a theory. I don't know. Like I don't know what kind of self-pleasure exercises these goalkeepers do to keep their hands strong. But
I mean, yeah, whatever it is, I suggest they start stuffing sausages on the weekends. Because those guys. I mean, if Stephen Fry isn't the biggest keeper either.
No, but
and look at the size of his bare paw. His shaved bare paw.
So
we weren't far from Tim Howard at MLS All-Star. We should have like, yo, Timmy, let me see them hands, bro. He punches you in the face. I'm like, no, we didn't say let me catch them hands. Just let me see them.
It's very important the words you use.
In the scenario, you're the one who gets punched. That's hilarious to me. I'm the one who yells it. You get punched in the face.
But yeah, he couldn't. Yeah, there was nothing he was going to do about that Roland Alberg shot. And but the Sounders, they had great opportunities to easily tie this game. I mean, I think the most glaring one was the pass from Nicola Dero to Clint Dempsey, wide open, right in front of the net, in front of Blake, and he takes a touch, he traps it on his chest.
Yeah, he tries to bring it down as opposed to head it. Take it off the chest. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Also, when you saw your buddy fail doing the same thing before, it's like, you guys are renting jet skis. Like, I think I could jump this dock, and he dies, and you're like, all right, I think I could do it too. It makes no sense.
He wasn't man enough. So, but he did. In hindsight, he probably should have just headed the ball. He took a touch, but after he took the touch, he skied it over the bar, and it just looked, it just looked like the wrong decision. But when Clint Dempsey got into the match, he I think he was what the team needed to to add any kind of spark. And he clearly did.
Yeah, we talked about it with Ceej. It's again, I never expected when he comes on that he is that guy, but maybe it's just one of those things where he understands where the players are going to be. The players understand where he's going to be. So everyone's comfortable with him when he has the ball at his feet.
But I like when Clint Dempsey comes into the game as a sub because it clearly looks the game looks different and he has more energy than the rest of the players on the field.
Also, he's dangerous from everywhere, like within 30 yards.
Yeah, but this is what I love about Clint. And
tell me what you love about Clint.
This is what I love about Clint. I love that he's one of the more low key stylish players in MLS. Where
he's smooth techers.
Smooth. He has style, and he's not afraid to bring it even when you're down 1-0.
Yeah,
and there were a couple plays where he did some back heels and just kind of. Pull the ball back and then kind of and then hit it to the opposite foot.
Right.
And it was just I just love seeing that because he can confuse some defenders from time to time.
Yeah, he never like a car that some cars look like they're going fast even when they're parked.
What?
Have you ever heard of that? They design a car to make it look fast even when it's parked.
Yes, sort of like a
sports car.
Ergonomically.
Yeah. Clint's like a minivan. But with like a jet engine in it. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look like he's ever going to be as fast as he does. He doesn't look like he's going to be as smooth and as stylish as he does.
Yeah.
And when he shows up, he's just a beast. He looks when he's running, he looks like he's just smoking a cigar on a patio.
Yeah,
you know
he's a little trickster.
Little trickster.
What's Clint up to?
How dare you be that disrespectful to Clint? Call him that disgusting word, trickster.
It's great. I love seeing it because he really, in the last few games, he's obviously not, hasn't been starting too often. But it's nice to see that.
It's also the end of the season. Let the man get a little rest before the playoffs.
Okay, we'll see how Schmetter's going to use him.
What would you do? Would you start him and then sit him, or would you play him at the end? What do you think is better for him? Because my big fear is what happened to Toronto last year is that they're just going to get into the playoffs and they're just not going to have the juice, and someone else is.
I don't know. Dempsey, I feel like I would start him and then maybe give him 60, 70 minutes and then sit him.
Right? Or at least bring him out 60 minutes.
I think he's too important to the chemistry of the team to be a super sub. But,
although you do get the benefit of if it's not going well, you bring him in and it immediately goes well. And if you start him, it might not go well from the beginning.
You weigh your
other options.
You weigh your options.
Well, yes, I'm asking you to make a decision.
And I just said,
weigh
start
your
him.
options.
I start him over having him, even though he can be a super sub. I made my point very clear. I wasn't waffling. Okay.
You weigh your options. Oh, do you weigh your options, Christian?
Can I finish my point? Because this is how sports talk radio is, guys. Somebody says one thing, the other guy says another thing, and then they argue about it.
Oh,
okay.
Is that? I love it.
Okay, this is sports radio 101.
I'd start him, but you got to weigh your options.
Okay,
I probably would start him too. My big fear is that you don't have another option. If it doesn't go well with him starting, you're like, well, we tried.
Well, their option is what? Will Bruin, right? Or they're not equivalent, but when you weigh those options,
here it is.
There's pros and cons, Alexis.
Oh, is that how it's done?
All right. There's good things that can come with any decision.
I would suggest putting those in the pro column.
Yes, those would go directly under the pro column. And let me just make sure that to let you know, the pro column is underlined.
Yes.
To differentiate it from the other words that are under it.
Some people would even bold it, which is very bold of them.
Okay. So yes, clearly there's decisions to make, but my opinion is you start the man because he's that good.
Yeah, I say run him into the ground. Let him play 90. Who cares about the playoffs?
Next game, let's go over to New York against DC. What this is called something. This is the interstate something rivalry. This is called something.
95, the I-95
Derby.
Derby. There can't be a Derby. Then the 95 Classico.
Yeah, I don't know. We should. Yeah, it's called something. Let us know what it's called.
Something. Yeah, look, and I know the Red Bull's biggest rival now seems like it's the NYCFC, but there's historically no bigger rival, no bigger team that they hate more than DC, and vice versa.
Yeah, and it's interesting because DC, even though they've been having a terrible year, they show up for these games.
Oh boy, do they!
And this game
is no different.
3-3, but great game.
Great game. A lot of back and forth, which is what you want to see.
The Red Bulls ended up, they scored first, but they were down 2-1 at some point. Goals, a brace from Tyler Adams.
Tyler, man, that kid is a monster.
He's the Jonathan Lewis of the Red Bulls. You know, they look. I
will say though, he's had more playing time and he's been way more consistent.
Than
Jonathan Lewis. They both have shown amazing flashes of brilliance.
Yes, and Tyler Adams also looks like a little baby boy, just like Jonathan Lewis.
Little guy. He's a New York State kid. Seems to me like he's right in line to, maybe start playing with the men's national team.
That's a possibility.
Just from the skill. I mean, look, he's probably got another year or two before that's considered. I believe, I'm almost positive. I looked this up, but I can't remember. I'm 99.9% sure he's a part of the men's national youth or the youth national team. Build up or whatever I was going to say there. There's words that were supposed to come out of my mouth there that did not, but whatever. Clearly has a ton of skill. I mean, these are the players that we're starting to develop. We as in the nation. And it's exciting when you see this. It's exciting when you see the things that Jordan Morris can do. All these things are very exciting. The big question for me is consistency. Tyler Adams has had moments where he's dipped, but he's also very young. But a game like that against DC, I mean, geez.
Yeah, that first goal was quality. He got a cross from Connor Lade.
Yeah.
And he just blasted it to the roof of the far post. Not a typical shot you see, you expect from the young guy.
Yeah.
He's clearly, I think he's the youngest player on the team. And another footnote that the keeper, Steve Clark, remember Steve Clark?
Of course.
From Columbus against Portland. The guy who gave up the goal
27
seconds in. He was the guy that got scored on. He did not look great.
No,
this game he did give up 3 goals. I think the I forgot which was the second goal. But the goal there was one goal that he kind of did a similar thing that Stephen Fry did, but this was even worse. He guessed. No, he didn't guess where the shot was going to go. He juked to the direction of where he wanted the player to like pretend. It's very bad. It looks bad when
it looks like he tried to psych the player out.
Try to psych him out. Like, hey,
what if I go here?
What if I go here over here? And it's like, oh well, you're not there, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna shoot.
It's like a guy who's bad at fighting. He's like, oh, what if I put my hand up here and wiggle, and you just punch him right in the face?
That's exactly
what happened. That's exactly what happened.
It look when a keeper does it, it looks really, really stupid. And he did exactly that. He faked the one direction where he was going to dive,
right,
and just shot it the other way. As soon as he did that, it looked really, really bad. But 3 goals. This game ended 3-3. How disappointed must the Red Bulls be? They gave up. They had 3 points right there. Paul Arriola.
And they need it. They
desperately need.
And guess what? DC don't care. I mean, look, I know the players care, but what I'm saying is they're not going anywhere near the playoffs.
But this was Paul Arriola was first of all great in this game. Also Patrick Mullen. Patrick Mullen, after the 4-goal game he had, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and he it sucks to find your form when the team when the points don't really matter.
Right.
But this was I think we're seeing games like this where Paul Arriola, if Paul Arriola is not on this team, these wouldn't be the results you get for DC.
The players look so much better. I mean, I can't explain to you how free Patrick Mullins looks.
Yeah.
He looks like he's like, oh, I'll just go over there. This guy's going to give me the ball. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and even when Patrick Mullins was with NYCFC, he never was he was a striker, but he was never the kind of guy that was he wasn't taking shots from like outside the box and doing all this.
Right, but he also didn't have a Maxi Morales or something like that to play with. You know what I mean?
Sure, but neither did David Villa, and David Villa found a way.
Are you comparing Mullins and David Villa? Jesus, look, we love.
But I'm just saying that the type of game that Patrick Mullins plays and David Villa are like they don't work together.
Right.
This is why Coley and Villa on the field at the same time. It just doesn't really you don't really see a poacher and Villa work that well together.
No, not at all.
So, but Mullins at DC in that role is great. Like he feed me the ball. Get me the ball. Get me the rock. I'll do work with it.
He is one of those talents that can make their own shot and can poach, and he kind of does both really well. Not necessarily great at either one, but he has both of those tools in his locker. You know what I mean? So, or on his belt, I should say. Can he continue this form? I mean, he's probably one of the players that doesn't want the season to end at all. He's like, no,
I'm just getting started.
Records are going to be broken if you let me keep playing. Is it too late to trade him?
Well, I mean, he did earn his money. I mean, I think that he left DC probably because NYCFC wasn't going to pay. I think he got like 300 or 400K. So. I mean, he's earning the check. He's putting the goals in the net. But this game was 3-2 up until about the 88th minute, or maybe it might have been like 90th. A cross from Paul Arriola, and then center back, I think it's Fidel Escobar.
Yeah.
Which two great names of
two countries are freaking out right now.
But he does. I mean, just a poor decision.
So your name is King Jong Bin Laden?
It's like, what an interesting choice. Yeah. Adolf, but not
Adolf Stalin?
Wow. Very, most parents shy away from those names. But wow, they really went.
Some take a left. You took a hard right.
But across from Paul Arriola, Fidel Escobar tries to clear the ball, but with his inside leg, which is he's facing the goal, and uses his right leg to stop a cross that's coming from the right side,
which looked like a shot. And then played like a shot and got past the keeper like a shot.
Yeah, it looks that's sort of the move when you want to redirect the shot so that the keeper can't really guess. It's one of those redirects where you don't even know where it's going to go.
Right, you're just getting a boot on it.
You're getting a boot on it, and you're hoping it gets past them. That's exactly what it did. It got past Luis Robles. A bad choice. I mean, you don't have much time to think. The cross was coming very quickly. You stick a leg out there just to stop it. But I've been noticing this the more I've been playing soccer, where I choose the leg I'm going to use before the pass comes by. You know what I mean? So as soon as I envision where, like, if the ball's coming from the right side, I'm like, I'm going to use my left leg to try to get it in the goal or whatever. Right. So it was one of those things where he didn't make he wasn't prepared. It wasn't prepared. It's like you don't make the if it's coming from the right side, you have more balance if you use, and you have more time. Even if it's a fraction of a second, you have more time if you stick your left leg out than trying to
come across with the other one.
Yeah, because your right leg is closer to the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Which a bad decision. He was the face Jesse Marsh made. Oh, just
he was like, come on.
Those moments they suck, and you can't even, the cameras are clearly on the coach, and
some coaches don't care.
But Jesse Marsh was clearly like, holy shit, for real.
But it was also like how hard we work to not let goals in, and you do it for them.
Yeah, and Escobar was kind of was smiling during it, where after it happened, because it's like, I mean, it's not the time to laugh, but it was just like,
that smile was like the frustration.
Yeah,
it's so sometimes you're like, there used to be times when I was young where, like, if something awkward was happening, I would start laughing. And it was just like my body going, well, we don't know what to do here. Yeah. So do this thing. And you're like, well, this doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
The situation.
It just sucks because of how desperately the Red Bulls need those points. Yeah. I mean, they do have a game in hand. They are, I believe, 3 points ahead of who's in 7? Montreal. They're 3 points ahead. But I mean, they're not getting. They're 4 points ahead, but they're just not getting results.
But they also have a game in hand as well.
They have a game in hand, but before the Open Cup, I think they haven't won a game. I don't know if they won their Wednesday game. I don't think they did. I think they lost to Toronto. But they just haven't won it. Like the last 10 games. I mean, they're just on a really, they're just in terrible form. So this was like they're way out of it, getting those 3 points, and
Well, them and FC Dallas both need they need a big game to rattle, or they need a big comeback.
Sure.
A big comeback, something that will inspire the team, because the New York Red Bulls, as well as they've played this season and as badly as they played, they clearly have the talent to be in the MLS Cup playoffs. They can't let that slip by. So they have a game in hand. Use it. Use it to your advantage. Get those 3 points. Put yourself in prime position. Even just to rest some players. They don't have the ability to rest anybody. They're certainly not going to get in second place, so they're not going to get a bye. So they're literally going to have to be just hoping that, BWP's legs can continue going the way they have been, and that everyone else is just going to maintain form. And maybe part of it is also, maybe that's good for the Red Bulls. You know what I mean? Maybe putting them back in that sort of underdog position is something that they can thrive in, because it seems like they have in the past.
Well, now that there is, we were talking about it earlier, there is that news of that Orlando FC Dallas game might be forfeited by FC Dallas,
which means Orlando gets 3 points,
and there will be 1 point behind the Red Bulls. They don't have a game in hand, but
so the Red Bulls can make it 4, or can make it very interesting.
Yeah, and how. I mean, it would be devastating. Every other team in the Eastern Conference has clinched their playoff spot, except for that 6th position. So it's very much up for grabs. But how devastating would it be if the Red Bulls lose on top of the loss of at the U.S. Open Cup, also not make the playoffs? I would love I would prefer of all teams for them to make it, because we might either see Atlanta against the Red Bulls in that game at the Mercedes-Benz. That might be the first round. If Atlanta, they could still get that second place position. If they win out, they will be in second place. So then that would mean that NYCFC and the Red Bulls will be playing their playoff that single elimination at Yankee Stadium, which would be
Hartford. There's a chance the
Yankees
are in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a beautiful home, a beautiful home game at Hartford, Connecticut.
God, I hope that doesn't happen.
But that would be an interesting first round. I mean, so compared to any of the other teams, or you know what? Or if Orlando makes it, and Atlanta's in third, that first game, Atlanta first playoff game. It'd be hot.
That'd be amazing. Atlanta versus Orlando in the playoffs.
Yeah. God, it'd be exciting. So
I wonder which one MLS wants more.
Because MLS they have no bearing on. They have no interest in.
They could care less what's happening. They're just like, how are the shirt sales? All right, I'm out.
Well, some people are suggesting that if MLS enforces this rule, they could effectively influence who does make it in the playoff. But
isn't this ridiculous? If they enforce the rule, you mean the rule that they put in place that's what's supposed to happen? I think if the rule doesn't get followed, then that's questioning.
Okay, yeah,
what's happening?
That makes sense. It is one of those things where, it is a legitimate rule. It seems so innocuous that
harsh for no reason, but it's there.
But it is there, and the players do.
And we're not Law and Order comedians, you know what I mean? We're not here to be like, follow the rule of the law or else you get in trouble. If anything, we're mad legal on this podcast. I've admitted to some terrible things I've done in my past. That said, it's there, and the teams know it, and they tweeted about it. Okay, Like in this Russia investigation, the tweets are going to come up in this investigation.
Let's look up
tweets.
They find the emails.
Tweets don't lie. Lock them up. Lock them up.
Relegate FC Dallas.
Yeah. Yo, you're playing Miami FC in the playoffs now. It's true. They tweeted about the change, and then they put the kid in. Look, Real Madrid got kicked out of Copa del Rey because of this.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? What makes you think this isn't going to happen? Now, if it doesn't happen, people are going to have questions.
Then that's perfect.
If it does happen, you're like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and FC Dallas is also a team that does not want to lose points. The Western Conference is incredibly open.
They're setting records at how bad they've been playing the second half of the season.
Yeah. So
this is the biggest collapse I've ever seen.
The biggest collapse you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you going to make a fat joke and couldn't think of one? That's exactly what you were going to do, wasn't it? You son of a bitch. It was, wasn't it?
It was not.
Yes, you were. 100%.
No. I was thinking of like just why are you comparing it as like there is a lot of hyperbole when it comes to just like talking about sports.
Sure.
So it's just like,
yeah, don't let them peek behind the curtain.
I'm like the biggest ever. I mean, wow! It's just
have you seen a bigger collapse in MLS?
They're a couple points from a playoff spot. I mean, if they were in last place, they were
like in the supporters shield lead at one point. Not lead, but they were up there.
They won the double. They did it last season. So I mean, I don't know. Is it the biggest? I don't want to comment on that. Who cares if it's the big? They're not playing with it. They're playing like trash.
Listen, you can comment on whatever you want. It's not like any of this is recorded. Okay, it's not like there's audio or video of it. Just say whatever you want.
Exactly. Let's move on. Let's talk about Orlando, because Orlando their midweek game was against New England, and they almost gave New England another rev wedding.
Yeah.
As they said, they lost 6-1. An early red card for Kouassi.
Yeah.
From which there were a couple earlier this season. I think he had another red card. He's just generally like he's an aggressive mid.
He's a big man. He's a big man.
Yeah, and then we saw New England kind of tries to push people around.
Right, they body dudes.
And
sometimes you get caught.
And you get caught, man.
That is what it is.
And he got a red. Video review was
used. He's a soldier. He knows the game. And he was sent off in the 10th minute.
And New England has they just have the worst luck. I mean, it's just like there was another game where they had another an early red card, but they're a team that they have not caught any breaks.
No, not many
this season. And then in the final few games when they were there were some chances that they could still make the playoffs. They just haven't done it. But this game they lose, especially to Orlando, which is a team that has not played well the last couple of weeks. To lose 6-1, even with a man down, still losing 6, it really just says like wrap up the season, guys. We're done.
That's cool. What are we gonna do in the off season? Let's go to Disney. We're here. It's frustrating because of the amount of talent they have on that team, and watching them go down to 10 did not make them play any better, you know, and it's hard and frustrating to see. But, Orlando needed these points.
Yeah.
They needed this. They have not been playing great. They've been getting a lot of draws. Dom Dwyer scored his first goal in front of his home fans. What?
Yeah. Took a while.
You know how many people gathered at the airport, dog? This is your first home goal? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Not for the want to try, but it certainly has been gutting it out, trying to get it make it happen. But I mean, to not have scored until now is shocking.
Yeah. He did have he got a goal.
He got the away goal.
He got the away goal at Atlanta. I think that was the first one he got.
Yeah.
He had 2. Yeah, he had 2, and then Laren had the third one. At the Benz. But he definitely does put it in the effort. I think it is a matter of like figuring out that chemistry. He did get traded there mid-season, and he did take that. He tried to go for that, like, not bicycle kick, but that
like a flying scissor kick.
Yeah, and missed it. He whiffed on it, just like
that's gotta hurt. When you like launch yourself in the air and you don't hear the sound you were expecting it to make, and you're like, oh, this is not gonna be good on the way down.
He misses it, but then Kaká
cleans it up.
Which
Kaká showing signs that maybe he's not done. I thought he was done. I said he was done.
I don't look, he I think I mentioned this at an earlier podcast, but he reminds me a little of like of Pirlo, kind of like when it comes to defense. I don't think he's like, I don't want to say he's not, trying.
He's not willing to track back.
When it comes to, offense versus defense, I think Pirlo is like an 80-20 guy where he's like, I'm 80% focused on offense and
just 20% not giving a fuck about defense.
Defense ain't for me, dog.
Nah, son. I mean, you got people back there.
You guys have fun. I just want to ruin your fun.
Yeah.
Because I see how fun the defense is.
Yeah. I mean, why would I take that away from you?
I wouldn't dare.
I mean, could you imagine how disrespectful that would be if I took your job away from you? You would not like that. Notice how I don't let you send balls perfectly to the front of the field.
He's a reasonable. It's all about compromise.
Yeah, he's a compassionate individual.
But with Kaká, I think it's maybe 60-40. Where he's like, he
you got to get him upset to get him back there defending.
Sure, or when he wants to like fish hook Aurelian Collin or something.
Still one of the oddest things that's happened all season.
But I think he still has a lot left in him. And he was it the first goal I think that he scored? I think it was
the top corner.
The first goal, the top corner, which is great. I mean,
classic Kaká.
He still has it. He still has something to prove. Obviously, this result with and this decision with FC Dallas and all this stuff is going to affect if they make it into the playoffs. But it'd be nice to see Orlando in the playoffs for once. I mean, how much time do they need? They get great players. I mean, it's weird to hear a team with the lineup of Dwyer, Larin, and Kaká and not be in the playoffs and not just like
for sure.
Has
Kaká's never even been in the playoffs.
No. This is their third.
Can he go his whole career without being in the MLS playoffs? The embarrassment.
I mean, all his buddies in Serie A are gonna be like, "Whoa, this guy never made the playoffs."
You even trying, bro? His kids on the phone with Dom Dwyer, and he's like, "What are you talking to Dom? Well, he's been in the playoffs." He's just telling me what it's like, Dad.
Dom win a cup with Sporting Kansas City?
100%,
He did, right? In what, 20...
He won, I think, 3...
2013, 2014?
He might have won 3 U.S. Open Cups. I know he won 2.
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
He might have won 3.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. That was a weird. You become a detective in the 20s? Yeah, he has.
So I was going to do the introduction to this next one in the detective voice.
And I'll tell you another thing.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
NYCFC.
Yeah, they draw. But did they draw? We'll find out right after this commercial. No one's paying attention anymore because we're doing these stupid voices.
And finally, Chicago Fire played against NYCFC over the weekend.
The Chicago Fire.
Chicago Fire. Our boy might have interesting, a return to Chicago for Sean Johnson. There was a great video of Sean Johnson's, saying what up to the Fire fans,
going over, shaking some hands, telling them he misses them. And who do we see in a cowboy hat?
Mad Javier. Just dude, and it's one of those things was like, of course he would be there
for sure.
Of course he would be, just chanting and screaming in Sean Johnson's face
in the middle of it all.
and we love it. And he is not even, the dude doesn't take a day off.
No, he doesn't.
That's really what it is, man. It's just like the passion he has for the team, and like to the equivalent to like he looks like a fangirl at an NSYNC concert.
Yeah,
when he sees Sean Johnson.
NSYNC. Yeah, he does. He's One Direction for everyone who's not over 35. He has that passion for Sean Johnson, but it let me know Because they said, like, the video even said, like, the milkman's back or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, milkman? No one calls him that.
Doesn't sound right.
But it just lets me know how important he was to the Chicago Fire. He was there for a while.
Yeah. And
I think he won 3 U.S. Open Cups with SKC back when he was with Chicago. What?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
That makes complete sense.
It's confirmed.
He did, yeah.
We confirmed that.
We just did 8 callbacks in one day. All right.
But this game 1-1, and oh boy, as NYCFC fans, how
isn't it funny that it's 1-1 yet nobody won?
Yet we all lost.
Yeah. Biggest loser of the night, Maxi Morales.
Morales. I mean, this is. We can dedicate this entire segment.
Yeah,
we can talk about an hour about the.
Can we say this is a new segment? This is the "What is you doing" of the week. Yo, what is you doing?
Yo, what is you doing, dog?
yo, Maxi, come right quick because we need to ask you a question.
Yeah, just come over here real quick.
Sit down right in front of us.
Let me just whisper something right in here, real quick. What is he doing?
Yo, homie, what is you doing?
Because you got the team, the defenders defended well. They collected the ball.
They gave the ball to someone who is got an entire career of knowing what to do with the ball.
He is perfect with the ball.
This is the guy.
He is the guy with that. When you want possession, he has a magnet in his boot.
Yes.
The ball is stuck to him. You are not taking the ball off.
Low center of gravity.
It's a tiny. He is Ant-Man. He turns on the little thing and gets tiny, and that's it. And you can't get the ball away from him. You can't. He's just stronger than you because of that low center of gravity.
He looks like a U14, but he's got the skill of an O40.
But Maxi Morales receives the ball in the final third, in Chicago's final third.
But he immediately starts to get pressured by Polster, and we've talked about Polster. When he's in the game, they tend to win.
Yeah. So
he's
as soon as he senses this pressure from Polster, he's like, you know what? I got to bring this inside my box.
Yeah. You know what I should do? Why don't I just walk this over nicely to my keeper?
Because that's where I feel safe.
Yeah. I'm going home. I'm going to take my ball and I'm going home. So what he does is he starts to dribble it, realizes he's got pressure from Nikolic now on the other side.
Yeah.
So he can't go across the face of the goal. Now he's aiming himself towards the goal. And then what he does, instead of clearing it, which he could have done at any point.
So many opportunities. And you see the rest of the team. You see Frederick Briand. You see Alexander Ring.
Collins.
You see everybody.
Even Sean Johnson's like, just give it to me.
No, but you see them stop playing. They stop playing soccer because they know who Maxi Morales is.
Right.
And they know that he's going to make the right decision.
Right.
And there's no way that he's just going to go walk back to the goal when he's being pressured by 2 defenders.
This guy can get an assist on either side of the field. This is why I like him. Okay, not only can he get an assist, a perfect assist to David Villa, sending a perfect ball, but he put it out there for Nikolic, who has shown that if there's even a small amount of space in that box, he will find a way to score. Nikolic was like, did that count? Nikolic scored that ball. Like, if you don't know, Maxi Morales was dribbling, and then he tried to shield Polster away from the ball, forgot Nikolic was there, or maybe did not realize Nikolic was there, and Nikolic just had the ball in front of him. There was a hesitation. Go back and look at that video. I guarantee you there's a hesitation when Nikolic is like, am I loud? Did somebody blow the whistle? Is this part of the game?
I mean, it did look like those again, and I have this frustration with foreign players, South American players specifically, because Morales was Argentinian, right, and it's one of those.
And you hate Argentinians.
I hate. Yeah, I've said it very, very much.
Add them to the list, everybody. Christians taking names.
Only Argentinian ones, though.
That's it. You better not be Italian, not to speak Spanish, bro. You get on that list.
But no, I have this frustration because a lot of the South American players, and specifically the Argentinian ones, they have this presumption of like, if it's a foul in South America, it's going to be a foul in Chicago.
Or that should have been a foul in every other country.
Yeah.
Well, you've played in MLS for an entire season at this point.
Just clear the ball. If there's Polster did not foul him at all.
No,
he literally did not foul him.
Look, there was when he tried to shield the ball, which is sort of like boxing out in basketball. Polster does kind of bring his arm down a little bit, but it's nowhere near enough.
No,
I mean, what do you want it to be? A penalty the other way? Like, I don't understand what you're getting.
It was
if this was done in the other box, it might be called a penalty.
Yeah, Morales. When he took the ball into the box, he went in with the arrogance of, there's no way I'm losing this ball without being fouled.
Yeah, it was also like it was just the cockiness of like a running back running into his own end zone, to sweep around the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was that thing of like, well, I'll just go this way.
Yeah.
And I got it. I mean, I'm clearly this is nothing bad's going to happen while I'm back here.
Yeah.
And Nikolic again was like, I feel bad doing this. It's like can we check if she's drunk first? Like that kind of.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable for everyone, and Moxie is just sitting there on the floor, looking like, why wasn't that called a foul? Everyone else was like, why would you even do that to begin with?
Alexander Ring was very upset after the goal went in because he did the thing. He pointed at his feet even before the ball was taken away from Maxey. He was just like, once he saw it was like Dyer, he was like, just give me the ball.
Yeah.
Just give me the ball.
If all anyone ever did was even giving them a corner is a better result than giving them a goal.
Yeah, and just very out of character. Yeah, Morales is not the kind of guy. Alexander Collins, I'm like, okay, I see that.
Right, Briant does it. All right, the guy's not. He doesn't have the foot
we got to give one of these up per game. I understand.
Yeah. Listen, it's the NYCFC way.
So we do things around here.
That was the first official. What is you doing?
What is he doing?
That goes to Maxi Morales this week.
So. Obviously they gave the goal. Nicholas scores the goal. He's I think currently Golden Boot leader. He's at 21 goals, right?
Yes, he is at 21. David V is at 20. Someone else is at 20. I can't remember who is at 20. And
it was Joseph Martinez.
Joseph Martinez at 18.
Closest, yeah. So, but NYCFC does.
Oh, Valeri.
Oh, that's right.
Valeri's at 20.
Okay. So. They NYCFC does tie this game with another spectacular finish from David Villa. A great pass from Maxi Morales. Villa,
so he made good.
He made up for his error.
Yeah.
But the moment there was some question of if it was offside. I don't think it was. I think he was on. I think he was level with the last defender. But Villa. After kind of missing a couple games after that injury in Spain, I think he's like, he's finally getting his legs back.
Yeah,
and looking like the Villa of the beginning of the season. But just a great play. David Villa has become the kind of guy that even though that goal was pretty spectacular, we're so used to kind of seeing spectacular goals.
It's old hat when he does it. We're like, well, yeah, that's the David Villa way.
And it was great because he did trap the ball, and then he's you don't know when he's going to shoot.
Right.
Lampson drops to stop the shot. I forgot who was the defender that slid to try to stop the shot, and he's just like, "Nah, dog, I'm still going. I don't know what you guys are doing back there."
Oh, that's cute. You think you can stop me?
But he does that kind of fake shot where and it's so subtle, and it's really not a drastic move that you can really pick up on. It's just like a little tilt of a body, raises the arm. It looks like he's about to shoot. Everybody drops to the ground, and then he's still going forward and basically at an open net.
Right. It's like, remember you used to play the game with your friends, the flinching game?
Yeah.
You would pretend you were going to swing and see if they flinch. It's like what happens when Villa does it is people drop to the ground. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they hide behind the desk and you're like, I don't even swing, bro. Get up.
People should be nervous. People should be as nervous as like when people flinch to try to do a nut tap.
Oh, nut taps are the worst.
Nut tap. That's what Villa's doing. He fakes a nut tap. Everybody gets scared and then
he scores a goal.
He scores a goal. You don't even expect it.
Nah, man. You're like, I'm not, where did that goal come from?
I was too worried about the nut tap.
You know those guys do that carrying the backboard and they pretend to dunk on people that weren't expected?
Oh, yeah.
We should do that with goals. Someone just carry a goal. I'll score on them.
And just do a backflip in their face.
Yeah, well, I can't do that.
You gotta celebrate.
Just take my shirt off.
So that's it, everybody. That's the amount of games we covered. There were a bunch of other.
Well, let's talk about the teams that made it into the playoffs, just in case you guys don't know. Obviously, NYCFC and Toronto won the Supporter Shield. NYCFC has made it in. Atlanta United and Chicago Fire and Columbus Crew.
And Columbus Crew. So, and speaking of Atlanta, since we didn't really get to talk about the game, we talked about it in the beginning. we were at the game at Philly in Atlanta against Philly, and what we were on the field, which was cool. Thank you, Atlanta, for the credentials and letting us be there. We
awesome.
It was an amazing.
Which
experience.
your girl went. She got to sit like in the sideline. Box. Thank you, Jay Brito, for those tickets.
Yeah, that was
my buddy Joe went as well. Did your girl talk about the game at all? Did she have fun? Is this her first soccer game?
No, I mean she's been to soccer.
But like this first one, like she sat outside that close.
Outside of NYCFC.
Yeah.
She had a great time. She where she was sitting, it was basically it's a tunnel where the players come out of. So she got to she has videos. She high-fived a bunch of players.
Yeah.
I think Kratz and definitely Anton Walks. She gave Anton Walks a little high five.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that was cool. But the
Wagwan Anton.
Watching the game that close, it was interesting because I felt like you don't being as close as we were, which is like now we sound like we're bragging, but being as close as we
were in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah,
I mean, did you see us? we were Andrea Pirloing.
No, so we were behind one of the goals, and we watching the game. When we saw all the goals, we saw everything, but watching the game that close, you don't really get to see how good Atlanta United is.
I don't know how the coaches do it. I can't see the game from that angle.
I can't see the game. I can't tell who, like, how does Tata say, like, hey, move here, move. I'm like, I don't know where anybody is.
Yeah, just could all of you spread out a little bit so I could see you better?
Yeah, it's very difficult to get a grasp of positioning and what the game looks like from that angle. It's very strange. But when I was watching the game over on MLS Live, I'm like, this was incredible. The Julian Gressel goal was incredible.
It looks so disrespectful on TV. In person, it looked incredible.
In person, it looked cool.
Yeah.
But when you see it from like a higher angle, it's just like, yo, this dude did him dirty.
Yo, what did he do to you, Julian?
It was incredible. And also watching Joseph Martinez, watching Tito Villalba, these guys are light years faster than every other player on the field. And Fafa Picault was on the field, and he was giving some people some trouble.
Fafa's a speed demon.
But you see Villalba and Martinez, and they're these tiny men. They built like barrels, and they are just so fast, and they have this incredible engine, and they never give up on a ball. They really don't seem to get tired. But watching it in person, you sort of get a grasp of that speed.
Yeah.
But watching the game on television, you really get a grasp of how intelligent they move and how well their movement. Martinez's movement off the ball is really what you see. Like, we were behind the goal, and a lot of the times when Atlanta had great chances to score, you see, like, you could see the legit fear in some of the defenders' faces, because like Martinez is moving all around, and it's just like, oh, who is he going to get the ball? When is he going to get the ball? When is this pass coming?
And also, like, there's the old thing of like split the defenders. You never know who's in charge of him because he's constantly running around.
Yeah,
it's like, you get him. He's not near me. He's near you. Oh my God, he's near me again.
And the just smart play, the smart passes that were difficult to see. They just look like regular passes when you're like on the field. But when you see them, when I was watching them on television, the Villalba pass for the Peterson goal was, I mean, who I didn't even see it. I was there. I'm like, don't make that pass. Like, there's no room to make that.
Why would you do that? Because it looks like the defender is going to be able to pick it off.
Yeah,
but it was hit with the perfect weight. It was a perfectly weighted pass.
And that's that we were definitely right in front. That was the side that we were on. So when Peterson scored that goal, we like that he was coming right towards us.
We were celebrating with him. We were like, oh my God.
And that was cool. The fact that the Atlanta United, like, even the photographers and some of the journalists were like, as opposed, sometimes you're supposed to be like media and like don't
unbiased. And pick sides.
But some of the I remember one of the Atlanta United I don't even say Atlanta United photographer, but one of the photographers
there
was just like, yo, for real, that wasn't offsides, man.
Yeah, he's like, yo, this bullshit. You can't call that shit offside.
They just keep it Atlanta. That's what was great.
Yeah, how you gonna call that Atlanta? How you gonna call that offside?
So Great time. Yeah, overall. We had a great time in Atlanta. We had a great time on this podcast. Thank you again.
Happy to be back home in New York City. Happy to be eating something that's not deep fried. First time.
What are these? Leafy greens? What is this?
Get out of here with it.
Not familiar. They don't even have that in Atlanta.
No, just give me French fries that are sauteed.
So, thank you again for listening to this. There's a bunch of stuff. Just we talk about this all the time, but our iTunes reviews are going up, and
it's a big help.
We actually are. We're like, I think we moved up to I think we're in the top 50 soccer podcasts in the ranking.
We could be doing much better though.
We could. So so to all the people who have already reviewed and have already done that, thank you so much. But
grab your girl's phone, grab your dude's phone, and review it from there as well. Hit the subscribe button is always helpful. And then he's going to get it, or she's going to get upset that it's constantly downloaded, but maybe they'll start listening.
Yeah.
But leave a review is huge. 5 stars. Say a little something nice.
It legitimately helps. And, you know, maybe we can get, by the end of the year, maybe we can get into the top 20 or something like that.
And we mentioned it in the commercial break, but it would be a huge help. Mack Weldon helped get us to Atlanta.
Thank you.
So if you are thinking of buying underwear, please, 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 please. If you're thinking of buying underwear for a man in your life, please, 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 please consider going to MackWeldon.com and using the code Cooligans.
It is legitimately the best underwear you will ever own.
It is. It's absolutely incredible.
And you know what? I found the underwear.
Where was it?
It was in my luggage. It was at the bottom of the luggage in the corner. I didn't see it, so I thought I lost my Mack Weldon underwear. I thought somebody snuck into the panty fairy and and just
they see your girls and they're like, nah, man, take these dude underwears.
Because I lost my Mack Weldon underwear for 3 months. I didn't know where it was, and I'm so glad I found it.
Well, 1, clean out your luggage more often, and 2, glad you found it. If you guys please buy just something off of Mack Weldon and use the code Cooligans.
Yeah, do that.
We're going to start a Patreon. We're going to start some other things. A lot of you guys in Atlanta showed up and came out. If this is the first time you're listening and you've never, other than maybe come see us perform live or something, you've never done anything for this podcast specifically, I would suggest leaving a review, following us on YouTube, and subscribing on YouTube. And please buy something from MackWeldon.com using the code Cooligans. You'll get some money off. And the people over at Mack Weldon will be like, oh, my God.
Oh, I like these guys.
Advertising on Cooligans does work.
Yeah, so do that, and like I did say, you will not regret getting Mack Weldon underwear. They're delicious on your underparts, on your undercarriage.
And by the way, they do not smell. You can wear them. We tested it out, or at least I tested it out. The purpose of the material is that it will not absorb the smell, so you can wear them for days.
Yeah, so
think of that. Think about that, ladies whose men in your lives play soccer or do something else that's disgusting.
You dirty dogs.
Come on, go to MackWeldon.com. Use Cooligans. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Alexis Guerrero.
My name is Christian Polanco.
Together, what are we?
The Cooligans.